Do a church.
Eyes up here. Eyes
Yeah.
up here.
I'm right here. Dude, this is too much overhead. I got to lose the hat. But how bad is my hair?
You got like a...
Maybe if I...
Yes, there we go. Dude, why don't you want the hat on?
It just with the over ears and the hat, it felt like I was wearing like a football helmet.
No, I do it every week.
Well, you're a man. I'm a boy.
Okay.
I don't have that resiliency.
Wait, this is patina.
Lot of sweat. Anyways, what I was saying was that yearly we would have this fundraiser called Putting on the Ritz, where the whole church, you could submit like a song to lip sync to and do a performance to, and me and my two friends would do a Backstreet Boys song. So the first song that we tried to raise money for was singing, what's the song called? Do you know? You Are My Fire, or whatever.
Not one.
This has to be like one of the few groups of people who wouldn't just know that song.
No, some Backstreet Boys.
Off the top of their head.
You are, da-na-na. Don't wanna hear you say that. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about?
You need more chest in that. Like, like it's coming to...
It's too up, too high.
No, it's just like...
Oh.
It needs to be coming from a deeper spot when you're saying
I have to channel my diaphragm a little more.
That's what it is.
Hey,
Hey,
to a good podcast, boys.
thanks for being here, Ross.
The podcast hasn't been running, has it?
Well, maybe.
Riley likes to start it whenever we start talking and be like, this is now the podcast.
The podcast that I was listening to when you texted me, if I wanted to go global or not, after like 5 minutes of listening to the podcast, they were like, oh yeah, like the podcast is running. Like, you're like, you let everyone else know that the podcast was running.
Oh.
He said, oh, by the way, yeah, we're recording and people are going to listen to this. Do you think what did you think about that?
I loved it.
You like the raw nature?
Well, I was just listening, and it actually was a common reoccurrence. You were like, oh, guys, like there's a podcast, by the way. And it was so good.
I feel like this room is so multi-purpose that we can just get talking and get rolling, and then the idea that we need to provide some sort of contained or organized material, learning material, it kind of sneaks up on us. So sometimes we just talk. And
It
then
started with the patina. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. What is patina?
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 The definition of patina,
Please.
I think, would be wear.
Oh, no way. I only think something having to do with military. Please.
A green or brown film on the surface of bronze or similar metals produced by oxidation over a long period. Wow.
Does this have a...
A gloss or sheen on a surface resulting from age or polishing. That's more of it, right?
This is where the sweat usually stops, I guess. Right here. And it kind of just goes over the whole hat. I'll put it back on.
Let's take a look at some patina images. I think that's what we can do with our time here. Look at that. Gorgeous patina. Ooh. Man.
Yeah.
Is that leather shop still in Opelika?
Loyal Strickland?
Yeah. Boom. That's a phone. They made that?
Wow.
Who made this? Look at the patina on that bad boy.
The patina.
Yeah. It's not still in. Take out that first card.
How much money you got in there?
You look
Depends on
amazing.
what credit or...
You look a little more square than you really do in real life.
They had a graphic designer crunch it a little bit.
Spare no expense.
That's I play basketball every Tuesday and Thursday. And
Did you play today?
I did.
What time?
6
Nice.
Central.
Nice. 6 Central. So I can be thinking about you about 7 Eastern.
Yeah. Aren't you in like a ultimate frisbee 5 a.m.?
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what we're trying to get that group to sponsor the podcast. So it might be a good time to plug them.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So F3, we do like ultimate frisbee on Wednesdays from 5 to 6:30, and then Saturdays from 6 to 8. And it's just a bunch of boys going out there and throwing scoob.
I heard, and I just want to congratulate y'all on that community.
It's amazing. It's a really good experience. You get to talk to people that you would probably never talk to and build a relationship because you see them twice a week.
How did that come to be?
How did we start doing it?
Yeah.
It actually goes back to Valor, which is nice, you know. Did you know Luke Folsom through Zach and Ross? And
I am trying to think back to what would have led me to Luke, but just through Ross,
Yeah.
I suppose.
So this fellow Luke, who is a pastor at a church in a nearby town, we provide coffee for their staff. So he was getting a drip brewer installed. So Ross and I were installing the drip brewer, catching up with him and talking. And he was like, "Hey, by the way, do you guys like to play ultimate frisbee?" And we're like, "Well, we love any sort of activity or sport activity together." But Ross was like, "But man, I'm a dad now, so pretty much like anything group sport related is happening like in the afternoon or evening, and I just can't do it." He's like, "Well, this meets at 5 a.m. so that there's no excuse for anyone out there because who's doing something at 5 a.m.? Some people are, but yeah, but we have to drive like 30 minutes to go to where we play, but it's worth it. It's fun. Ross did just move to faraway land, so he might be on hiatus for a while. They both live, what? You're living an hour away. Ross is probably 45 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
But they can carpool.
Wait, really? Did y'all live near each other?
Yeah. I live in like northern Dawsonville, which is, so like an hour. And Ross lives in like central/south Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
So I could pick him up along the way. I'm probably not coming to Ultimate Frisbee,
No.
but I would love to.
I don't think he'll be coming around for a while too before he relocates. But yeah, it's just such a good time to run around, and no one. Thankfully, I don't know what it's like in basketball. I'd love to hear about your sports times, but it's not very it's very highly active and everybody's trying really hard, but very minimal like temper flares or like tantrums or brawls. It's just like guys having fun, trying really hard, and that's what keeps me, because I'm not like a fight over a call kind of guy.
Yeah.
Kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth. But how's playing basketball? Basketball is a lot more hands on than frisbee, so I could see there being like a little more emotion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's depending on really who.
Get up on that thing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Sorry.
The first time
you can move it back to you too if you want to relax.
I had a long drive, relaxing. Man, basketball is it really is a fierce sport. I think most competitors that I grew up with, they kind of turn into an animal whenever they start playing. But
this guy knows what we're talking about. You're an animal on the court.
Stop.
Did you play ball?
No.
Ross plays ball.
I'm terrible at basketball.
We're both really bad at basketball.
I love to play basketball, but I'm just really bad. Ross is good. I mean, he played his
not
whole
that
life. It's just like in the post, he's pretty good because what can
The
you do?
longer
His body speaks for itself.
bird-like. So this group that I play with, it used to be a all UPS crew, and I just got invited through the shop. Our UPS delivery man, Steven Decker. This is a plug for him.
We know you're
This is a
listening,
plug for
Steve.
you. My roommate also drives for UPS. and he invited me to come out because he's heard of my natural abilities. And I started playing, and then as I started noticing as time goes on, like more different people started getting invited and cycling out. So we've had this pretty solid crew that always shows up, that's always there. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for this. You can't put two of us together. I mean, you get Mike, Joey, Richard Patton is there. I don't know if you know Richard Patton. Richard Patton, Matt with Matty Ice was there. Chris, everyone that's kind of around our area is like this just weird people that you'd never see would be together like in Ultimate.
Sure.
We're all there.
Oh yeah.
And it's a wonderful way to like start your day because you get chemicals going up to your brain and you get home. I get home at around like 7-ish.
So you play hard for an hour?
Yeah, we play for an hour and leave at 7, and it's pretty strict.
Pretty hard stop. Pretty hard. Yeah.
And then the days it's an amazing way to start your day. I think as time continues, like I can't really do stuff after I get off work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm either gassed or I want to hang out with my family or our community in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicating my time to sports is getting a little slimmer and slimmer as time goes on. But 6 o'clock in the morning, like no one's like being like, dude, what are you doing?
Sure.
But I wanted to ask, how do y'all in y'all's, like, how do y'all put together, do y'all ever string the community of Valor and y'all's, I guess y'all's communities outside of Valor? Does that ever cross y'all's minds or anything?
You're saying how do we do things outside of work together?
Yeah, I remember Elijah saying y'all were like inviting people to like play Ultimate, I think, after work, and y'all invited everyone in the cafe that was still in there. Like, hey, we're going to play Ultimate after this. And I was like fist bumping because that's bellissimo.
Yeah, I will answer that question, but first I just want to introduce you to all the listeners.
Or watchers.
Yeah, listen. Oh, we can't forget about our YouTube community. They really helped keep this thing running,
50
right?
views strong.
50, 60. Heck, I saw one because it always, when I'm on YouTube, guilty, I get referred these videos. And, saw one the other day, 76 views.
Man.
And none of them were me. So, probably a few of them were my little brother. Colson, we know you're watching. My little brother's a huge listener.
Gets a shout out every episode at this point.
No, we hear about people listening. But, we have David Bizilia. What's your middle name?
Carlton.
Really?
Yeah, I know. We can talk later.
David Carlton Bizilia. Welcome. Do you have you seem like one that runs far and wide away from the idea of having a title, but do you have to title yourself as far as your role at Sidetrack Coffee in Opelika?
Man, I don't really think about it.
Founder?
Founder.
Owner?
Founder.
Founder sounds cooler than owner.
Yes, it does.
I like
I
manager.
never thought of that before.
Assistant manager? Would you call yourself that?
I would consider myself founder and assistant manager because Austin
is manager.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a way, the founder or the owner really is the assistant or the supporter of the people you put in responsibility. So accurate nonetheless.
Completely agree.
But thanks for making the drive out here to, where are we? Roswell.
Dude, don't give away our location.
116. Never mind. I just appreciate having you on. So I just want to say to everyone who's like, who's Ross? Ross today is David. And
Who's Ross or where's Ross?
no, yeah, who's Ross? Because he's in Ross's seat.
Ah.
Yeah. I do wish Ross
That's what
was
I would
here.
think.
I was really, I never told you that Ross wasn't going to be here. I didn't know if that'd be a deal breaker for you, so I didn't even mention it.
I thought I was coming in here to fill
Fill
in.
Yeah, and you're doing beautifully already. So thank you so much.
What would Ross do?
What would Ross do?
If Ross was here, what you'd probably be sitting right there.
Yeah, you would be over there. But the Swoon on Ice is over there. Speaking of, do you think you could
Top off?
I think you taught me and Dave. I know. Pardon us. We'll probably be running to the restroom during this conversation, just because if I keep down in this iced coffee, I'm going to put myself in a tough position. But to answer your question, A, welcome. B, how have we integrated community outside of maybe work hours? That is I will say I have been inviting pretty much any able-bodied human to the Frisbee thing I go to, but it is in Canton, which is 30 minutes away from the shop. And I've gotten a couple bites. Some people will come out. And I've gotten Elijah does the...
I'm getting attacked by the Monstera over here.
Oh, the Monstera.
If any listener is wondering why me and Ethan are the only ones talking,
He's wrapped up in a plant right now. It's not looking good. Anyways. But we had a thing called VAC, which was Valor's Angels Athletic Club, before me and Ross were doing the Frisbee thing. And you came out to it.
Oh, I was there.
You were
I was still in Alpharetta at that point.
you were living in Alpharetta. We did like an after close meetup at the cafe, run to the local park, and then play like a game, basketball, Frisbee, football. And that went for a while. It just didn't get the numbers. But there were a couple organic moments where we're like, hey, everybody, we're going to go play Frisbee after close. And we'd get, 20 something people. But it's amazing the like well that you need to be pulling from to get 20 to 25 people to show up to one thing. Because the little group chat for my Frisbee league, it's going to like hundreds of guys, but still only 20 to 25 show up a week. It's interesting to me, because it's like if you ask 20 people, you're going to get like 4 people that can come. So such is life.
yeah,
But yeah, we've done some other things. We started teaching English classes. I don't know if you heard about that, on Tuesdays after we close. And we've had some guests to the cafe volunteer for that, which has been super fun. So we just bring in people who need to learn the English language.
Where did that come from?
That came from us gathering outside of Valor and feeling like there was some sort of desire to give back in a different way to the community. And believe it or not, Alfred is pretty diverse. There's a lot, because of the business hub that it is. A lot of men are moving their entire families we have a lot of Japanese folks coming through. And so people are coming from Iran, India, Japan. We had an Azerbaijan family come for a while too, Israeli. And yeah, they're typically the wives and the children are not kind of like pushed to learn the language, because their husband or father is the only one that needs to help the family survive. So there's a lot of like isolation and loneliness. And so we had a lot of moms of the shop and friends of the shop be at like parks and be running across women and children that didn't know the language, and were not really taking any tangible steps of growth in that arena. And not that you have to learn English to survive here, but it is probably pretty helpful. But that's been a cool like after hours thing that I've seen kind of the community get behind as well. And I know we're trying to do some stuff with like the beloved sex trafficking like reform, and we've done some work with them before, and hoping to do some more this summer. But
How do y'all decide? Like, how do y'all go about structuring giving or helping, whatever those words are, to partner with? I know y'all, what's the one that y'all kind of stick with? I've seen before that organization. It's like Purple House or something. I can't think of it.
We've done Drake House.
House.
Kalen Center. All of our $1 from every box of our seasonal blend is going to the Ukrainian Red Cross. So I mean, you know, a lot of especially with the seasonal blend specifically, it's kind of a lot of times it's just the need at the time. So you know, we rolled out that coffee and all this Russia Ukraine stuff is going down, and so that was kind of the answer to that. But I mean, other than that, it's kind of just things that you know, people around Valor are have a heart for. So
sure.
sex trafficking, you know, literacy, like orphans and the lost and etc.
Yeah, and not to mention Riley's wife works for a company. You can describe her job a little bit more, but that basically just vets nonprofits and figures out who's making like an impact in communities. And so when it comes to us, or mostly usually Riley picking like a organization to support specifically through like our seasonal coffees, he has like a pretty good insight there, which has been, I feel like, really helpful for you, right?
Yeah, I can basically just say, like, Michaela, is this organization a 501c3 first of all, and she can look that up, and you know, did their values align with ours, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. But I guess I would love to flip it back around and talk about Sidetrack, and then maybe you could talk about, because I'm sure a lot of people know who you are and what Sidetrack is and where it is, but if anyone doesn't, you could give them some insight. And maybe we can go back to origin a little later, but maybe just like as it stands right now, how does a specialty coffee shop land in near rural Alabama? I wouldn't call it rural. I don't know what you would call Opelika, but how does that like impact or like hit and integrate into a community?
So to spread it all out, I think it was 6 years ago. It's about to be 6 years ago. Coming up this weekend, it'll be 6 years. And it kind of started off Sidetrack, the shop that I help run, was kind of started from when we were probably all getting into specialty coffee at the same time.
6 years ago, it's right on the money for us too.
For sure.
We're getting into it. And so, like I have this vivid memory of anything excellent was paired with specialty coffee, like the clothes, the architecture, the design, everything. And so I was like, we have to bring excellence to this small, nothing's here town, Opelika. You know what I mean? And I'm like, 19 at the time. So I know that much. I know very, very little. But it was the innocence and the context of it was kind of worked at the time.
Absolutely.
And so, as from what I've heard kind of in my time as in this industry, you hear all these stories about these little shops, specialty coffee shops is the phrase that we use, revitalizing these communities, bringing, Richard Patton that I play basketball with, his idea was bringing concerts to downtown Opelika, where the Sidetrack is, just bringing younger people, anywhere from 19 to 30, being younger, because Opelika is kind of older. There's gift shops, maybe old restaurant down there. I mean, there wasn't much. Kind of where Sidetrack is, where it was in the context of it, location was not super great. But to our our man, Danny Meyer, he would say context, 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 and the context was there. I didn't really know it. I just thought, I was like, this is where I was born, and this place doesn't have a coffee shop, so let's just do that. And so as time has gone on, you kind of realized how big just youth is for a place. So it's kind of weird. I always look back and go, man, this isn't Opelika. You know, you go over to the shop and you drink some good coffee. You go, man, I can't believe this isn't Opelika right now. And it makes you happy. It's very simple. It's not complicated at all, but it's nice. And then you have all your people there, which is the most joyful part of it. Because normally you have to drive to Auburn. You know, you have to drive 20 minutes to Auburn to see a person below the age of 30. But now it's not the case. So that's kind of where the spread all out where we are now, where I am, and kind of how I simply perceive things. So if that answers some of your question.
Totally. Who was the collective of people? Was it just you, or didn't you have a buddy? Oh, a buddy. His name's Buddy, right? Buddy Foster?
Yeah, Buddy Foster.
Was it just the two of you guys trying to go out and do it, or?
Sorry, I was
Take an emotional pause anytime you need, man.
So I'm crying. No, so this is the funny thing about Sidetrack. It was supposed to be a project that lasted for a few months, and then me and Buddy were
like a school project?
No, just like a timed, like we were going to do this thing for the summer and then go back to school, because there was no coffee shop in Opelika at the time. And we had some friends, Wade Preston from Prevail, John Marsh, who was the building owner, called us, and they're like, hey, do you want to do this thing just to have coffee in town? And we're like, yeah, sure. We were like, got nothing else going on for the summer. So we started it up, and then it hasn't stopped.
I went once to the first spot.
The teeny one.
Mm-hmm.
The teeny beanie?
That's
yeah.
special. That's special.
It was a very impactful moment in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
Do tell, man. Do you remember any details?
So, Buddy and Dale were friends, and Dale basically just told me to go and to his friend's coffee shop, and I went, and I think it really just made me come to the realization that just because you don't have all the know-how, and I'm not saying everything wasn't excellent that I had, the coffee was great, but especially being young, starting a business, not having unlimited funds, just kind of getting up and doing something is worth it, because you can make it work. Because I mean, it was you guys, all your plumbing was flow jets, right?
Yeah.
And so I was I think I went back from that. I was on the way to the beach, but after my vacation, I went back to, you and Ross. I can't remember if you were in the picture yet.
I wonder when you went, because we met about this time last year. Or no, about this time, 2016, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Happy 6th year, man.
Aw.
Hey, right there.
No, to your point, there was not all the know-how. That's been my my theme as I walk around town, and that thing that people have to where they're they can share you some great knowledge. Mine is, you don't need to know it all.
Yeah, for sure. That encouraged me going home, and I was like, let's just figure out how to do this.
Well, yeah, even you saying that you stepped into it without this full picture is a theme I think we've seen carry out in our company too. Of when we landed in Alpharetta, there was no rhyme or reason besides just someone offered us I would say a timed opportunity as well. We had no vision of we're going to put a pop-up in Alpharetta so that we can put put a cafe in Alpharetta. It was just like, this would be cool. This would be good for us. We can bring coffee to Alpharetta. We can like solidify our brand, but that was just supposed to be a step towards like the big city for us. And we were just going to get a shop in Atlanta. But I wouldn't even know how to say like why we ended up in Alpharetta, but it was just opportunity. And like, we were trying to leave. We were kind of like pushing against the idea of staying in a smaller town, but nothing was working out elsewhere. And the suite, did you ever, I don't think you ever went to our pop-up, right? Because it was just behind the rest of the building that we're in now is a co-working space, and we were just further down our alley. There's like a glass garage door, and we were like in the backside of the building.
I think Ashley McAllister showed me where that was, so I have a good point of reference.
Great regular, Ash Mac. That was fun. But yeah, so we were there, and then there was no plan to move to the corner. It just happened, which is so crazy to me that that's how it ended up. But very grateful for it, and very grateful that we didn't like build our own plan or like try to figure out what to do to make that not happen. But we just settled into that area, and I don't know. I guess we've been there 4 years now, but in Alpharetta. But it is cool to see how you like had just a couple of, now you have like a dozen people like making coffee for a city can really change the landscape, you know?
Yeah, truly. I mean, and the businesses neighboring, like the neighboring businesses, you know, by the way you do things and the humility at which you do things. I think, which I want to ask, how I've been thinking so much recently, how do you pair, because the most beautiful things in my life have come from not planned. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't plan this. I didn't plan this. But how do you pair this preparation, this patience, structure, and just letting things play out and happen?
You got anything that comes to mind right now? But I can definitely... Basically, you're saying, like, how do we plan, but also how do we plan to let things naturally go a different way?
Yeah,
almost?
Because that's how it's happened almost with myself and the community. Like, man, that person never planned to be working, you know, for a sidetrack for so long. Like Austin's, he's about coming up at 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he didn't plan that, but he's there. And it makes sense for him to be there. And for us, too. I mean, I was 3 months. You know, I was 2 years. I'm like, after the second year, I'm going to go back to school. And then it keeps on, you know.
Yeah.
Things keep on happening the way it does. But I'm like, man, I couldn't plan this any better. You know what I mean?
Interesting, man. Yeah, I don't know how to speak to the future, but just to solidify that idea, I had no expectation of starting a business one day. Like, I had no plan to be an entrepreneur or to try to go out on my own, but I ran into Riley and Ross like totally out of the blue while I was in the middle of school, and then fast forward maybe 3 months, and I'm already was asked to be their groomsman in their weddings, and we're hanging out every day, and I'm dropping out of school. We're changing jobs so that we can better prepare ourselves for Valor. And like, my whole world was turned upside down, and that was not my intention whatsoever. And then I think about some of our core leaders that are coming up, like Mikey. I don't know if you've met Mikey, but she had like 3 other jobs. She was in school, and she was just in the cafe one day, and Ross pointed her out and was like, I want that person to be part of this team. And, you know, she totally 180s her life. And now she's with us over 2 years, like longest standing employee, probably going to be running that Dunwoody shop. And it's been one of the best things that happened to our company. Same exact thing happened with Lillaby, who's probably going to be running our other cafe, the one in Alpharetta. where she was back in Georgia just for a spell because of COVID, like went back from California and just starts talking to us. And we sent one of our employees out to be like, hey, do you want to apply to work at Valor? She's like maybe, thinks about it. And then now, I think she's been here more than anywhere else she's been in her adult life. And she's coming up on 2 years as well. But I don't know. I guess it's just really staying sensitive to your surroundings, right? And being aware of, at least in those situations, of seeing these people that absolutely embody your culture and your values of what you want your company to be, and see someone already living it and being like, hey, do you want to join in on this fun? Because it's just going to be a really natural fit, and it has been. But I would say, too, with our Dunwoody location, we never really had it wasn't like, okay, we're going to open in Alpharetta, and then in 3 years we're going to go to Dunwoody and like take that opportunity. But I feel like as much as we theorize, we really just kind of open ourselves to opportunity, and we just know when to say no. Because before saying yes to this Dunwoody location, we had to back out or say no to dozens of opportunities that just, for better or for worse, didn't feel right, or something felt off. And so there's this like deep sense of intuition and peace that comes along with making a decision. And yeah, Dunwoody just felt like the right move. And if someone told me even a year ago that I'd be opening a cafe in Dunwoody, I'd be like, that's super random.
I remember talking to Ross about it, about saying no. Or I mean, talking to Ross.
Ross was talking to Ross.
Talking to me when Ross was talking to me. I remember him talking about that. Just no being such a powerful thing for y'all's business. Do y'all have a core value for growing or or opportunities? Something that keeps y'all like in the lane?
What do you think?
I think we do.
Yeah.
We have a few things that I think help us there. One would be hunger for growth.
Totally.
That's still a core value, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Heavens, yes.
This is so bad that I'm going to ask this. I'm going to edit this out. I'm just kidding. What's the one that's like we can grow and we cannot be scalable so that we can grow, but like we can do things.
Think ahead has the temporary sacrifice
for sure.
caveat.
So hunger for growth and think ahead. So a lot of what we have done up to this point in our company, starting a coffee business, as I'm sure you know, is not the most lucrative way to make a living. And then we are doing it with 3 owners and a full staff of people. So a lot of what we do, I mean, sometimes we put the cart before the horse, and it's like not probably the best business practice. But we're just kind of looking at what we want our company to be 5 or 10 years down the road and preparing for that. So that once we can step into those seasons, everything will be great. So, I mean, on a small scale, the way that we live that out is like, if we're talking about like in a service environment, thinking ahead, if it's pouring down rain, and a guest is inside and they just got their drink and they're looking outside and they're like, I really need to get to my car, but it's raining and I'm late. One of our pit crew members will grab an umbrella and run them to their car. And we can't do that with every single person that comes in. That's not a scalable practice. Sometimes someone's going to have to walk out in the rain to their car, and it is what it is. But when we can do that, that's that impact much more impactful, and that person will probably be a Valor regular because they felt special. Large scale, we're looking at, we open a 3,500 square foot roastery, and it's way bigger than our needs. But we have plans for a couple years in the future, and we grow into it, which we already largely have utilized this space more than we did a year ago. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, a couple of things that I would say, like, are core value adjacent when we're talking about growth. It's kind of theoretical because we haven't grown in these certain ways before, like another retail establishment. It's pretty big for us. Like, it's really scary because, I mean, to be known as a very hospitable and like guest oriented place, to try to recreate that, it's hard. I mean, I'm sure you maybe even laugh at the idea of like a second sidetrack. You're like, how can you recreate what this is? This is so like specific to the way the light comes in, to like the way the back is organized. It's a 1 in a million thing. But we would say a couple things around, like, we do need to grow as a company, kind of what Riley was saying, just because of our structure and like 3 people trying to have a coffee company, so we have to be a bigger size. And so when we opened the first one back in 2019, the first Valor, there's a lot of like opportunity right out of the gate to be like, all right, well, hey, when are you going to do your second one? Do you want to put a second one here? I have this spot, do you want to check this out? And we were like, no. We're going to get settled here. And we would always say we never wanted to grow if our like culture and quality and values are diminished. And this is like a great trial run for that, because to wait 3 years to build up leaders and to try to like delegate leadership and responsibility to people and watch them try to like take on that mantle with the support of us as their assistant managers. It'll be a really good testament of like, yeah, how does this change the landscape? Do the 2 cafes feed off each other and like we're bigger and better because of it? Is there, what comes out? Is there rivalry? Is there a decrease in one area over here and an increase in an area over here? But the biggest thing that comes to mind is the people, kind of like you mentioned with Austin, like to have someone else be bought into the vision of why you're doing something is everything, because, we can't be everywhere at once. And I couldn't imagine like opening a shop and not having a Mikey or a Lillaby be there, And so what I think is going to be, what's going to kind of be our, I don't know, it's not litmus test, but indicator for growth is when we have someone who's ready to step into that responsibility, and we do right now. And we have before, but the opportunity wasn't there. So now we have people that are wanting to be at this company for a while, take on leadership, and we're going to be able to give them a career because of it. But I think it's like a pairing. Like, we need someone who's ready to take that on, and we need an opportunity that's a right fit for them and for us.
Yeah.
Because say we open up this Dunwoody space, and then right when we do that, someone's like, all right, well, hey, I got a great spot for you in Roswell now. And we're like, okay, I hear you, but let's like look around. Let's look at the team and assess like who wants to trailblaze that. And if we have someone, that's a way better chance that we'll do it than not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the trailblaze.
Yeah, trailblaze.
Yeah, I think a lot of saying no to opportunity comes from hearing every opportunity out. Like, if someone posed an idea and we just instantly thought like, we aren't going to do this, then we probably, I guess we would still be saying no. But I guess my point is just saying, like, every time someone is like, hey, we're thinking about having a coffee shop here. Like, we usually have a meeting with them.
Sure.
Like, I think Ross has a meeting with someone like soon, and it might not work out, but like it might be the perfect opportunity. So I just can't like think of how many times someone's been like, I want to open blank and we'll open 10 Valors. And we're just like, yeah, that sounds awesome, but like it would probably suck because they're not ready for that. But you know, hearing out opportunities is like what landed us in Alpharetta, and it's what landed us in Dunwoody. Like, someone reached out and we were like, yeah, let's talk, and here we are.
You know, the reason I ask, you know, do y'all have a core value for that is because normally I refer to, and I'm sure dozens other refer to y'all as this staple of people that always refer back to y'all's values that keep y'all moving forward or keep y'all in the lane that y'all want to be, and it makes me think of the answer almost to that question of how do you prepare, how do you structure and prep for the future as best as possible, but also take in the things that are unexpected. As long as y'all's core values are in line, there's no way you can make a mistake. So that I'm so encouraged, and when people ask me, or when they ask Sidetrack, dude, y'all should open up a location in Atlanta, I can confidently say that we already have a second location in Atlanta. It's called Valor. And it brings me great joy how y'all, I'm sure y'all hear this a lot, but I'm going to be the guy giving y'all a plug on y'all's own podcast.
Listen up, 76 listeners, watchers.
89.9. But y'all really do. Y'all have this this image that everyone kind of looks to and bookmarks and goes back to to see what they're doing is in line, because y'all's core values are something that just a normal person should have. You know, walking around, and that's kind of the point to doing, to living, to starting a business. Hopefully someone sees this and wants to do this too, whether it's with their hair salon or whatever it may be, whatever their business may be. Y'all really do that for a bunch of people, and I can't wait for y'all to spread that with y'all's Dunwoody shop. I can't wait. Y'all gonna have bigger baristas, I heard.
Yeah. They're going to be like 7'4", 7'5", 350, 400
Like
pounds.
minimum height, Ross.
Yeah. Ross is going to be the small fry on campus over there, for sure. Thank you so much for saying that.
That's
first.
sweet.
And it has been cool already to see this platform be an encouragement as well. Can you plug AJ? Didn't he listen to this and make a move? Is that right?
I think it was contributed.
A contributing factor?
Yeah, for sure. You know, our friend and wholesale partner, AJ, started a coffee company down in Dublin, Georgia called Reverb. And he, you know, through our conversations and through his own sheer will,
His decision.
yeah, was like, I'm going to just do this. However, it's like, I can't just like go start a coffee shop right now. I have a family, and totally valid. So he is doing pour-overs and cold brew at his farmer's market every Saturday. And he's just like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try to build this company and see what happens. So love you, AJ.
Love you, AJ.
Proud of you, AJ. I feel like that was the same story I heard about Hex Coffee.
Oh, really?
I think they were doing the same thing. They were just a cart doing pour-overs, and now they're Hex Coffee. Now they're still Hex Coffee, the coffee that we know and love today. But just from that, you know, I mean, what were we doing?
We did some goofy
They
stuff.
were
man.
flow jets.
Sponsored by
I love a
Valor.
good flow jet. Why don't you go grab the flow jet and bring it in here?
Just
You want me to?
hook it up. Hook it up.
I'll go get it. Give it a mic. See if it wants to.
Like I told you to do it instead of me going to get it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the best part about the relationship of Sidetrack and Valor is there are so many people that go to school at Auburn from this area, and
This is true.
they come into Valor and they say, "Hey, the people at Sidetrack told me about you guys." Or these people come in and they're like, "Hey, I go to school at Auburn. There's no good coffee over there." Or like, "I don't have a coffee shop." And we're like, like the best coffee shop is just down the road. And so it's been fun to have all these, this web of people who
Totally.
who know Sidetrack and know Valor.
It does feel like it's getting, not to interrupt you, it does feel like it's getting more and more each day, just getting interwoven, like the communities, which, not just, and the common denominator of all that, of not just like you have the brands and you have the shops, like the coffee and the feelings you get, but there's this common denominator of people's dispositions, of the people that tell us about Valor or the people that we tell about or like asking or from here, or there's this connectedness. Their dispositions are always crazy, full of joy. I mean, like radiating, like almost like Brielle level, But I mean, there's a common denominator there, which I think speaks volumes to what the culture is going on between the two, the relationship between the two, and it, again, like that just makes me, wakes me up in the morning. And I can have this sense of hope that there are places that are spreading that disposition, around, which I don't know if y'all talk to a lot of people about opening businesses. They're like, I'm thinking about opening this business, and my first thought is, normally it's a coffee shop because we all do coffee, so people ask us, like, I'm thinking about opening a coffee shop, and you have to, I don't know if y'all do this, walk them through, all right, why do you want to do that? Where do you want to do that? What's your situation? And my first instinct is like, all right, do you invite people to your home to have coffee? And normally, unfortunately, they normally say no, no. And I normally tell them to just do that first. Like, start inviting people to your home first, because that would make a lot more sense than just opening another paper cup guzzling business. You know what I mean? And so, but we walk through that. We talk through that about opening these businesses. But it's like you're hoping that their business is an extension of themselves. And I might have just rabbit trailed there a little bit. But y'all do that very well. I'm like, I need another Valor. I would like another Valor. And hopefully people see y'all, see us, and they're like, I want to do that. And not just talking about the tangible, we give goods, thing. So I'm just stoked just thinking about it.
That's a great question about, do you invite people into your home to have coffee? Because I feel like recently there's been an uptick in those kind of conversations I've been having. So that's a great piece of advice that I'm going to probably take from you now.
I mean, do y'all, to trickle down it just a little bit longer, do y'all think that sometimes I think there's too many businesses? Like, you know what I mean? I don't think we need another. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think we need another coffee shop. We have like 20 something in our small town.
Really?
Of Auburn, Opelika, like in like great coffee shops.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, could we use another one? Yeah, sure. People would go to it, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm like, man, could we open up our homes more? I don't think we need another restaurant. I just think we need, Brian and Belinda to like invite people over to their house a little bit more, But I don't know, that's what I think of. I just like, walk back and forth. I'm like, are we opening up our homes more? or less than we're opening up businesses. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a really muddy conversation to have, but that's what I think. Those are the questions I ask, and hopefully it helps somebody, you know? So, but please open the Dunwoody location.
I like the muddy conversation. I think, anytime I hear something opening, I think, what need in the market are you filling? And I think that about Valor as well.
Totally.
Like, if we're opening a new location, what need in the market are we going to fill? For Dunwoody, it's pretty easy. There's just not really any specialty coffee, and we want to be, the top 1% of a service establishment. Like, we want to go down there and like show people that they can be treated nice,
Yeah.
like service people care about them. Not to say there's not other places in Dunwoody doing that, because I'm sure there is. I don't know the area that much to know the spots yet, but but I totally see what you mean. It's just like another blank is opening there, and it's just like, wait, there's one right there. Like, what are they going to do that's different? So, I mean, I think with Metro Atlanta specifically, you still have a lot of cities who just don't, miraculously don't have restaurants or don't have coffee shops. But I guess I just look at it a case by case situation.
Yeah. And then you have areas specifically in Atlanta that are absolutely oversaturated. I don't know why. Maybe probably just because if people are just going by numbers, it's like, well, let's go where all the people that are going out to eat are going, and let's put a restaurant there. But I feel like you got to do a little bit of backwards recon and be like, well, where do people actually need a restaurant? Where do people need a coffee shop? Alfred has definitely got a lot of restaurants for sure, and I've heard tell of a couple like opening up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we're adding to the community. And sometimes it's a hard angle when people kind of come into our city and they're like, we're just traveling through. We've heard Alfred's a cool place to be. What's worth checking out? I'm like, well, you better be really hungry and really thirsty, and maybe you want to shop a little bit.
That much. That much.
There's just a lot of restaurants. It's not a big city, but there's just a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of business. A lot of offices. So I guess I'm just sure the stats are there for like, this is a good place to put a restaurant.
And I mean, I hate to be hot take as a Alpharetta business owner, but like it's not all top tier restaurants by any means.
Sure.
It's just like there are a lot of restaurants, and there are top tier restaurants. But where I live, it's completely opposite. There's all residential and there's no restaurants, and there's never gonna be, I guess, because
you never know.
our government officials up there. Yeah, I'm running for office.
Riley Westbrook.
Dude, I knew you were climbing.
County commissioner.
I knew you were climbing the ladder. Coffee shop owner, realtor.
What's next?
Google local guide.
Yes, absolutely. I've reviewed 2 places.
Really?
I don't know, maybe. I think I reviewed like Lake Burrito back in the day. Like,
nice.
Whenever I first started going around there. And then this one Red Wing store in Roswell that like told me I couldn't try on their shoes because they didn't think I had enough money.
Bummer.
And you reviewed them on Google.
5
I did.
stars, really?
Yeah, 5 stars.
These people were spot on. I actually didn't have enough money, and they saw right through me.
So, do we think that people change their Google reviews?
Well, dude, I regretted it because I never leave negative reviews. I might have even deleted it at this point because I just don't want that attached to my name. But
When you run for office?
yeah,
Yes.
for when I run for office.
That's what I was thinking. Might not look good on the campaign.
But I was just so mad at that point that I had to. I think it was deserved, but
I don't want to get too far deep into that massacre, but what happened?
I just like went in there with my friend because I wanted a pair of Red Wings, and they were basically just like attacking me whenever I wanted to try on a pair. Like, are you gonna buy these? Like that kind of vibe. Like, and I was just like, if they fit, if I
the
like
shoe
them.
Well, at least you got a good line.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was probably 18, 19, so they probably just thought I didn't have the cash for it. But I was like excited.
You
and
saving up?
Saving up my
Expensive
money for some
boots.
Red Wings.
Expensive
And then
boots.
I was just like, all right, I'll just buy them online.
Yeah.
And I did.
What'd you get? Iron Rangers?
Iron Rangers were the first
knew
pair.
it.
Yeah.
I knew
They're
it.
good.
But a
But-
little different. They were the rough out Iron Rangers.
Oh, those are sick.
Yeah, I still have them.
It's
Great
like
boots. Like the suede
Yeah,
type of material.
suede-y.
Yeah.
Little
Me-
hairier.
Yeah, they're hairy.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen them on you.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you get married in them?
No,
I
I
would-
just wore
I-
shoes.
I've only reviewed one place before.
Sidetrack? 3 stars.
No.
Espresso is
No,
okay.
Dunwoody.
no comment.
The other Dunwoody location. No, I reviewed, and this is a little bit about me. I have one Google review, and it was for the Little Caesars. And you're probably thinking that I'm going to say I gave it a 1 star, but I did not. I gave it 5 stars because, you ready for this? I gave it 5 stars because I paid $5 for a large pizza that took 5 seconds to get in my hands. And that's amazing. No matter how good the pizza is, no matter how bad the service is, I'm paying $5 to get a pizza immediately. And it came from a place of I read all the reviews to Little Caesars. And it was just, I mean, you just go ahead. I mean, it's the funniest thing. There's no bigger, like, no one gave it more than 2 stars. They're like, this is the worst place ever, you know? And I walked up, I was like, hey, can I get 1 large pepperoni pizza? And they said, that'll be $5.45. I gave them $5.45, and they gave me the pizza, and I walked out. And I went, that's amazing.
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it, you know? And so I just couldn't imagine someone having a bad experience that didn't last longer than 5 seconds. You know, all of them were out of cheesy bread, high in demand. Like, they're just out.
Oh, crazy bread, actually.
Crazy
right?
bread, is that what it's called? Sorry.
I just didn't want them coming after you.
But that's my one review, and I will never change it.
So that's a funny concept. Those places like that fit so well. I don't know. They just fit into the culture. You don't think about going out of your way to review McDonald's unless it's a 1-star review. Unless you find a Band-Aid in your burger, you know. But you're not gonna be like, you know what? My fries today were so good.
Because the bar is perfection.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But they're not gonna. If they just had a perfect experience at McDonald's, they're not gonna rate it 5 stars.
It's true.
They wouldn't do it.
It's
No.
true.
But is that telling of like if something doesn't go our way, we're gonna pitch a fit about it,
Totally.
and then if something goes our way, it's just another day in the life.
Yeah. Well, when your computer is running really well, you're not like,
Thank
man,
you.
this computer is so awesome today. It's just like you go home and you're like, I didn't have any issues today. But when your computer is giving you the rainbow wheel like all day long, you're like, this computer sucks. I need a new computer.
Wow.
So
See?
that's what they call it, like the mark of good technology is that it disappears.
Interesting.
Yeah, disappears from your life.
I think we talked. You and I talk about Google reviews that one time, and about like replying to people who had a bad experience at Valor or Sidetrack?
Maybe. I've never replied.
Ross has replied
Yeah.
once. It was a really interesting situation, but I'd love to hear what were you thinking about or talking about? Maybe we're talking to Ross then, because
Maybe.
we had someone who, and I mean this is deep, but it's like
Coffee moment.
it's a coffee moment. So they came in and they wanted their they got a bag, but they got a pre-ground for espresso. I just feel like that's trouble. I don't know about you. I haven't worked on a lot of home espresso machines, but like just ripping it up pretty fine on an EK. I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what your home setup is like at all. And because this will probably just like blast through on a commercial machine, but it could just clog up real easy on your home kit.
Push in like 1 bar.
Right. Yeah. Like a really, really slow flow rate. And so this person gets a bag and it's just not working. So they come back and like, hey, this coffee like didn't go through this didn't work. Like it wasn't flowing. And I mean, every EK dial is a little different, but we had it like on 1. We didn't even grind it like all the way. And we grind, if we ever make an espresso at the shop, it's usually like all the way as fine as a EK can go. So we already started coarser from there. And then we did it like doubled our efforts and tried like that X amount coarse. And they go back and it didn't work on their machine again. And so they leave a 1-star review of like, hey, these people are like selling me coffee that's not working. And we're just like, oh. And Ross was like, hey man, I'm sorry that it's not working. Let's get it figured out. Basically, I don't really recall.
Like we'll send you as many 12ers as 5ers as possible to get that running right. But did you know what espresso machine it was?
No idea.
We normally go like, what are you running? Like, what's under the hood, pretty much. Because I mean there's no way. I mean we're in Opelika, Alabama. Everyone is running with some sort of plastic target bot contraption. So whenever we grind them something, hey, what are you brewing on? And then, you have to like cradle them, to a spot that gets them in the hopeful vicinity of brewing good coffee. Because I mean, I bet that person was just like, maybe like had never done coffee before, you know what I mean? Like they've never been, I'm going to go to the shop and they're going to grind espresso for me. And then it's supposed to work the first time,
Yeah.
And 1-star review. That's the thing about reviews. It's just like, got to give them 1 star. And then I think it might've been me and Ross, but where's what from point A to point Google review does what I want to know I would like to open that up and see what happened to be like, I'm doing it. 1-star review. Like Little Caesars, come on.
I would have to just receive like incredibly terrible service, like the Red Wing instance, or like someone disrespecting my wife or something, and then me like being like, let me talk to management or like something along those lines, or like send an email and then also get disrespected. I feel like to take it to that level.
I was immediately thinking about something having to do with someone else I was with. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, you could call me a loser and tell me you won't even serve me coffee. I'm like, all right, have a good day.
Yeah.
But if you're bad mouthing like a friend of mine, I'm like, hey, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's just try to figure this out on the spot, because you're not even representing the company you're working for, really. It's just like you are having a bad day and you're taking it out on my homies.
On the note of the coffee specifically, I'm a pre-ground stan.
Oh,
Did I do it right?
you nailed it.
Yeah. I'm a pre-ground stan, unless it comes to espresso. So in that instance, I'm like, would he have left the 1-star review if we would have just said, no, we won't grind this for espresso? It's like, we only pre-ground down to AeroPress and no further because
Mocha pie.
it gets too weird. I don't know.
Not a bad idea to be like, we can sell you a grinder.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we grind for espresso. I would say there's a good shot we do it almost once a day, maybe a few times a week. But like, no, very little complaints. People are coming back,
Which is crazy.
I would
think it would be
I don't know what's going on at
miracle
home.
that it would work.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I'm just like, okay, yeah. Well, let's see what happens. Miracle. It's a plug for one of our coffees. Miracle. But all that kind of unfolded with that guy. I was like, I get it, man. This is just like a really tricky situation. I don't know. That's a weird aspect of the roasting world of like someone gets to manipulate your product at home and you just have no control over that. And you're like, I hope that you do this well enough so that you at least like it. Doesn't matter exactly if you maybe extract it perfectly, but if you like what's going on, that's great. But I don't know if you ever think of that, or that idea keeps you from the idea of roasting. Where are you and what's going on in the world of Sidetrack? Have you thought about like coffee? I know you co-roast with Prevail on some.
Yeah, we do just come up with ideas.
Whoa.
I like it. All right.
What's gotten into you?
I think there's a little debris on the bottom of my cup though. So
No, I think that was my cup. I had debris on my cup. Like it's a leaf.
What? Do you want me to throw it away?
yeah, let's just throw away the whole air pot.
Wait, do you have debris? I have debris.
Yeah, there's debris. Huh. Debris.
The more you say debris,
Yeah.
the weirder it sounds.
I just kept on saying debris because I would have never called it debris.
What would you say?
But it makes.
Crap. There's some crap in my
I
cup.
would say there's stuff. I'm a crap guy.
Yeah.
Like I call everything crap. So, I think all my childhood buddies, they would just say everything is. They would call stuff or
Stuff.
that thing.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes I
I
just.
can't say crap anymore. I'm going to say debris.
Sometimes, for any situation. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed
Can you hand
to
me
say
that
crap.
debris over there?
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to say crap growing up.
Hmm.
Say soil.
Soiled it.
What's up with all this soil on the desk?
Yeah, a lot of soil. Anyways, please.
To sidetrack, someone left us a Google review. It's like 3 years ago. And this has literally happened. Guy leaves, I think it's 3-star, which honestly hurts more than one. A 1-star.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, 1 or 5. But anywhere in between, you're like,
Yes.
whoa.
And he said, what did he say? He said, are you looking it up? Can you find it?
I'm looking up your reviews. You have
Want me to put it
200.
on the big screen?
Sure.
Oh, how do you? Okay, Google.com.
So 3 years ago. Is that what you're looking up?
He's looking it up now.
Okay.
I kind of want to look up our reviews. I remember.
I never look at
Do you just want me to go to lowest?
Yes, just find 3.
I don't want to just like crush you on this podcast.
I'm not. I would not.
All right,
I would
all
never
right,
be
all right.
crushed.
All right.
It's one that I replied to. No, keep going. It would be in 2004 years ago, 3 years ago.
So you reply?
Try 4. I replied to something that needs to be responded to. I think. I don't know how it was back then. Not Joshua.
It wasn't Yelp. It was definitely Google.
Definitely Google. The last bad review was 2 years ago. Oh, no. 4 is a bad.
Dude, you got 2 stars for closing too early? That's a bummer.
What?
Someone.
Where's that at? Where's that?
It was
Too
up.
early? Yes, there it is. Daniel.
Oh, that was the one.
2 stars.
Ah.
Okay, this is my thing. What gave us the 1 extra star? Like, how did we get 2? All right, read this.
They close way too early. Most people work during their hours. Because I get off at 4. I have never had their coffee. I'm sure it's very good.
That's the 2. That's your 2.
That makes sense. Daniel, he's consistent. The thing is, I want to know what happened from point A to point Google review. And he told me what happened. But I want to know in his mind. But however, I'm on Daniel's team. But was our thought. Hello, Daniel. Our hours are 8 to 4 during the summer due to our entire staff attending school and being gone.
Regular hours are 7 to 7, so he just caught us during the summer. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience if you call us at any time. Our phone number is I gave him our phone number and leave us a message. We would love to bring you a coffee during your business hours or to your office.
Man.
I was like, I am willing to bring this guy coffee whenever he wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Hope to hear from you. Hello, Daniel. I know it's. Wait, I don't remember that. But I want you to again and share that our hours have returned to normal. Ah, okay, that's.
What an incredible reply. Props to you.
Wow.
That's just like,
I don't remember that second one. That's great.
Do you know if you ever heard
Never
from him?
heard from Daniel Long.
We received a very similar review to this one time, except it was like we had just opened our official cafe, like after the pop-up, and this guy leaves a 1-star review that's like, you know, what kind of idiots do these guys think they are opening at 7 a.m. when most people in this area need to get on the road before that? They should be opening at 5:30 or something like that. And he was like, I've never had their coffee because I can't make their commute. They'll probably go under whenever their investors like realize how bad of an idea this is or something like that.
He pinned us.
Wait, are you looking that up? Are you finding that?
I would love to. Yeah.
I think I just like flagged it and was just like, this guest has never been to our store, which was totally true, and it got removed. Especially because we like just opened, and it was like it was on Yelp, so it like had brought our rating like pretty far down.
Yelp.
So
I found the pre-ground coffee one. Do you ever get? You don't read your reviews? Well, no, you do because you respond.
I think it's around those. I don't think I've been. I just decided just let it.
dude, 4.8 on 281 is so good.
That's primo.
Look at, and you just like, you go and just all fives, baby, all fives.
Let's go.
I've never received anything other than a 5-star sidetrack experience myself.
Dude, ditto. I don't know if you know this, and I don't want to go into the slam zone, but I really don't. I'm going to preface a lot. I'm sorry.
All the pausing, it's like my blood pressure is rising.
I wonder if you feel the same way, comma. I feel this way. I don't have a good time going to coffee shops typically. That's a preface. Like I typically don't have a great experience because maybe it's just because I'm in the industry and we have such critical eyes and I need to learn to just relax and like enjoy anything for what it is. And there's something to learn there. But I really speak so highly of your establishment, and I always have a wonderful time and experience at Sidetrack. And that sounds like a really easy, simple compliment to give, but just the rarity of that with which I experience in your space, I just really treasure anytime I get to go to your shop. And so I just want to say thanks for having it.
Ditto.
I've been doing that to my thank you. My joke with my parents recently has been, hopefully, any viewers, this might be kind of a R-rated thing to say, but when I'm talking to my parents, we'll just be talking about something normal, and then my joke that's actually been landing, not literally, but it's just been really funny, just to let you know it's really funny. But
All right, we'll laugh.
me and my mom will be talking. And I did it to my dad the other day, and it was like way funnier.
Whoa.
So, but
Dad.
I just get like a little bit, and then as long as my parents can go, that is good. I just need a little bit. I just need a little reaction, and then I'm good. And I laugh, and then I go, sorry, just the moment we're having.
I think, we don't cross paths all the time, but one of my favorite things that I've seen you do, there's two when I think of David, I think of these two things. you say, talk to me when you start a conversation, and that is legendary. And it makes me want to answer the phone that way every time. And then just in a group of people, or if there's some sort of collection of people talking, sometimes I'll see you make eye contact with me or someone else and just go. Can you speak into that at all?
Can I go elaborate?
Yeah, does that just
care to comment?
Care to comment?
I
C to C.
I don't know why I do either of those things, where the origin is from, but I do know this from a hospitality standpoint, which I have one last personal question before the end of the air. The MO at the shop is finding at the shop or at my home or in any gathering, if there's any person that has like started drifting in any sort of context away from like the group, I will try to rein them in with any sort of eye contact, and I'll like shake my head so they feel like they're connected to someone some way, you know. And so I think it's developed maybe from just being like.
But the conversation going on is like, yeah, it's just like puppies deserve homes, and you're just like,
No.
Whoa, put that on the air.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
someone that's like maybe more alone in a social setting, and you can't really do anything to meet their immediate needs. So me just throwing out a quick and then having to do what I'm doing, like do whatever my job is. It's kind of like I don't know, you probably like juggle at the cafe. Like I'm making these drinks, I'm serving this person, I'm thinking about this, but you're just doing the hospitality shuffle of like trying to meet all these needs.
Good word.
And so you look at someone and just go, and you have to get back to what you're doing, but you have to make sure they feel seen.
I see you rock that. The last couple times I've been to this space, I've seen you really navigate that pretty well. Of like you literally have maybe like 0.5 seconds with a person, but you do 20 minutes worth of social investment in a or a. I'm like, yeah, that person's like, oh yeah, we know each other now. Like we're close, we get each other, and there's a lot of sincerity in that too.
Yeah.
Like we are connected because of that. I got a couple questions for Dave. I don't want to take all of his time. Do you have any questions for Dave that come to mind?
Why don't you just go right ahead, and I can
Follow
play
suit.
off of you.
I would love to hear about what are you guys excited about. Oh, first, congratulations on the 6 years.
Thank you.
Heard you got a big party. Do you want to
Yes.
plug your party?
Friday.
Yeah. 6 o'clock?
Smash burgers.
6 o'clock. Yes. Smash burgers with my banker. He's making them.
Okay, we
All
just
right.
went there, ladies and gents.
Here we go.
The banker.
All right, so Davey wants to talk about his banker, huh? Listen, the joke isn't even about you and the banker. It's just about bankers. I don't get it. And the joke is more about me than anything else. I hear people say, I have a meeting with my banker. And I'm like, okay, it's you. I've talked to another coffee shop owner who meets with his banker. And I'm just like, do I need to be meeting with my banker? Am I missing something?
Oh, you were like, am I doing something wrong?
Yes.
That makes it so.
Okay. Listen, that's where it started. But then I think the joke evolved to like anytime like literally Ethan
You don't need to be meeting with your banker just before.
Ethan this morning was like, yeah, like we have the podcast at 12. He has a meeting at 9. He's going to come after that. It's with his banker.
Ooh, hot dog.
So anyways,
So meet with your banker if you want to start a coffee shop. Is that kind of like the step one? Get with your banker.
yeah.
If your like mobile banking app doesn't work,
If you have a hard time logging in to your mobile banking app, consider meeting with a banker.
So what's going on with your banker?
Yes.
Care to comment?
What's going on with that banker?
Yeah.
He loves his job, and he makes really good burgers.
So he's actually making burgers.
He's actually is making those smash burgers.
I thought you were just kidding.
No,
Unreal.
I'm not.
Unreal.
He's actually making those smash burgers.
There's got to be
Wow.
something special in there.
Money.
Coins, pennies. Well, that'll be super fun.
Yeah.
I am judging a latte art throwdown, unfortunately, and I'm not going to be able to be there. A different one, not yours. I wish.
There's 2 latte throwdowns in the Southeast in one night.
Yeah, and on a Friday. What about Thursday night throwdowns? What happened to that?
Wait, both of them are on a Friday?
Yeah, the fellows thing is this Friday,
Oh
and
my
their thing
gosh.
is this Friday. I totally would have been there, but
I had.
Now
I haven't thought. I thought I had it on my schedule for Thursday.
Wait,
So I'm
when
glad
did
you told me?
Thursday night throwdowns go away? How did we let that dissipate?
that's what I'm saying. Have you had a throwdown at Sidetrack before?
We've had 2 before. We've had 2, yes. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I mean, we used to have Thursday night throwdowns. I mean, it's every Thursday.
Are you
When I
serious?
was in high school, there was, I think, Coffee Cat did a Thursday night throwdown, and it was like, I mean, everyone
Wow.
always knew to be at Coffee Cat on Thursday night because there was going to be free cappuccinos and all the people wearing the Red Wings skinny jeans and graphic tees.
Pendletons, maybe.
Yes, blankets wrapped around.
They're so cozy. They're warm.
It gets cold down there.
yeah.
in Auburn.
It's cold
Yeah.
down there.
Oh my gosh, it was like 30 degrees like 2 days ago. Come on, somebody,
Dude.
War Eagle.
So you got the party, but maybe beyond that, what are you and or the team excited about right now? Like what's in the cooker?
Gosh, it feels like I was on a phone call kind of on the way over here, kind of updating someone on what I've been up to. What have you been up to? And so my meeting was with Austin this morning. We meet every Tuesday morning at 8:00, and we always ask each other, "What are you doing this week? What are we focused on outside of where are you? How are you?" And kind of what I'm really excited about, and this is nothing, like it almost sounds like there's nothing changing, but we've been excited about and spending all of our time just being with our folks. We call them the girls because it's me and Austin, and then everyone else that works for us are girls. So we call it being with the girls, and we just spend time with them. We go on team retreats all the time. We meet a good bit just to calibrate more and more, and just our relationships growing and our team getting closer and closer help us make decisions way easier and make them way more impactful. So that's what we've been working on. But that's what we've been. I always think, what have you been working on? So yeah, that's what we've been putting a lot of our time into. Is just our team. Like you talking about Mikey and Libby resonates so much. Because that's what it's, there's nothing, I mean, think about the just common tale of, yeah, dude, like ever since they stopped working there, that place is just, you hear that. But then you hear those redeeming stories of when those people stepped in, that place changed. It's almost like the same with like a room. It's like when someone walks into a room, the whole place changes. It changes its feeling. So our relationship as a team, we've been just working on, and so looking towards the future. My sister bakes for us. Mark with the Welcome Center, the Smashburger place. We work with him on certain collabs that we do, certain events and parties together. But I'm sure y'all think about this a lot. But my heart is towards finding people's gifts and what they're talented in, what they're passionate about, and how to take those gifts and take those talents and to put them in the community to heal it. Like how is it serving our community in a practical and special and beautiful way. So that's kind of how I spend my time. So just speaking and getting to know people deeper, to one day making this community in Opelika, where I am, all kind of share the same values no matter what kind of business it is. And so we have a great friend group, a great team that has talents and that has these passions. And right now we're all getting to know each other because we're really young. And we're not masters. We don't have a bunch of masters that are 25, 24 years old, but we're trying to get there together. And so that sounds like almost like a non-answer, but that's kind of what we've been doing, if that makes sense.
Where do you attribute your heart for people and the values that your company has? Like, where did those come from? Can you point towards something you learned along the way, a book you read that changed your life, something like that? Or is it just something that's been with you since you've been a boy?
Oh no, if y'all would have known me, and sometimes I don't even feel like I was the same person in high school, right out of high school. It's been this slow accumulation of what I've read, what people I've known, what conversations I've had, what heartbreaks I've had, what joys I've had. A lot of my family, I have a very, very spectacular family that their hearts are such gold. Like I could have absolutely nothing and feel like I won the lottery every single day just by who my family is. And we're by no means successful or inspirational people, but our hearts are my family's hearts are inspire me. They inspire me so much. I have an uncle or a couple uncles that I would do anything to be a fraction of who they are, and the way they look at the world, and how they look at people and how they treat people. I'm sidetrack. It's really sidetrack as a thing is really inspired by people how they live, and people's homes and how they show hospitality. I was in, when people go on these business trips, where they go on a business trip and like go to another business and learn from this business, which is a great thing. I do. But I was in this family's home a few weeks ago, and I can't tell you. It was mind blowing when someone's like, "Tell me about your most favorite hospitality experience." And a lot of my favorite hospitality experiences are in people's homes, how they welcome you, how they like their home has been, obviously there's art hanging up, there's books, there's comfy seats and all this, and you walk in and they're like, "Can I get you tea or coffee?" We're getting dinner ready and everything, and the table's set and everything, and the questions they ask, how they get you included in their home. Like this family I was with, there's art everywhere, and I just had to thank them, like, "Thank you so much for hanging up all this art." I don't know if it was for me or not, but I just felt like I feel really honored to be able to see all this and be welcome here in y'all's home. And but the way they tended to me was so spectacular. I know it's different in a business setting, but I'm like, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna change the way I serve people at my own home, and then it's like trickled into I can't tell you how it changes your community when the way you act in your home, when hospitality, when all your values start in your bedroom before you even leave. Like that's where it starts. It makes going to work so much easier because it's like you're getting a head start. It's like you're getting a running start. Like there's no way you can just start going, 60 miles an hour in your car. You have to start from zero, and I don't want to start from zero when I walk in the front door at the shop. And my family and my family has really showed me a lot of that, and the grace they've shown me and the hospitality they've shown me. I really won the lottery with I have a huge family, it's huge. And so Thanksgivings are big, but is hospitality ever like skimped on? Absolutely. Like by no means, are there paper plates? Yes. But I mean, it doesn't matter to me when I'm being loved on the whole time. When it's chaotic, there's kids running everywhere and there's yelling and screaming, but that's what a cafe is. And it's kind of easy for me to be in those high social environments, and understand kind of, and it's from my family. So my view and our Sidetrack's values all come from a place of like the simple existence of a home, and how to do it there. And I've really been blessed to just see it, how it's done, and try to put it into practice. And I mean, I am a full menu of human imperfection, but I mean, I'm highly aware of it. And I think that's what makes everything that we do noticeable. So
It's a great perspective and a good take. I've never heard much of that take.
A lot of home
Hospitality.
Starting at home.
I think I said home like 40 times.
Home. No, that's good, man. That's a really
we'll
good
title this one "Coming Home."
Coming Home with David Bizilia.
Yeah.
At Valor Coffee. I always want to say Valor Coffee sometimes. Whoops.
Wait, y'all don't say Valor Coffee anymore?
Well, this podcast, we call it Coffee sometimes.
Okay.
But we do kind of go by Valor now.
But we do just go by Valor a lot.
Which is sick.
Thank you.
Because we started going by Sidetrack.
Not just Sidetrack Coffee.
Not Sidetrack Coffee.
I think legally, we might get into some trouble if we start trying to go around just saying we're Valor.
Really?
Because, I mean, there's just, maybe. I don't know. I know there's just a lot of companies out there called Valor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But, or, Valor with another tagline. So I don't know. But, yeah, like our box, now it just says Valor. And then, like, coffee is up here embossed, like, smaller.
Yeah.
It's like, it's coffee. But, like, is it Valor coffee or is it just Valor and it's coffee?
Did I tell you the cookie thing? No.
Cookie?
Elijah was telling me that, because we have new people coming in all the time, peeping our rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
So this gentleman comes into the cafe and he's like, man, all the new logo, like everything's looking super sharp, man. Great job. Job well done. And he like slaps the stack of boxes down. Now, what flavor cookies are these? He's like, oh, those are our coffee boxes, actually. And people are like, oh, he thought they were boxes of cookies.
Wow.
I was like, okay, hey. But that's been a funny like quirk. I don't think from bag to box, people are like,
Yeah.
a lot of people totally get it, but there's the few and the proud that are like, I don't know what this is now.
I feel like people would normally say what kind of cupcake. It's like a cupcake box. Because people with the Say coffee, they go, they just ask, or just really anything, any sort of progressive branding or packaging, people go, what is this? They're like, what's in here?
I like it. I just want to know what's
Is
inside.
this coffee? Is this coffee? People ask that. I wonder what that is. That's probably for another podcast.
Yeah.
I should have read y'all my possible podcast topic ideas before we got in here.
Ooh, we can still pull them up.
Yeah, please.
I have a quick question. If you want to pull that up.
I think my phone's gone.
Oh, I took it. Sorry.
I am curious how Sidetrack landed on its visual/brand identity.
Say it again.
How do you think that you were led to where you are today? with your brand identity. Like, you have such a specific.
Wait, so you've noticed one?
What?
You've noticed
I've
one?
noticed a brand identity.
Oh gosh. Oh
Listen,
my gosh.
but this is you.
Harrison Hagler, I'm sorry.
It's. I remember we've talked about this. We talked about this within our.
Do you
rebrand.
like it? Don't say yes.
Listen, I do like it because I think. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm just like, this is something that I look at and I'm like, Sidetrack can totally pull this off. We can't.
Totally.
And that's just, I remember literally saying that when we were having our rebrand meetings.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so you. Sound on. What's going to happen?
Does anything happen?
Yeah, it should be playing right now. Do you hear that?
Oh, the birds?
Yeah.
Aww.
Why are you guys taking your headphones off?
To hear it. I can hear it better this way.
It doesn't come through on ours.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Through what?
That's weird.
What track is that?
What? That is from...
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a deep cut, I bet.
I don't think we have the rights to it.
That is...
No, that's from that's actually from this personal project that I did. That was the opening track
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
So that's a plug for me. Go
David.
listen to me.
David Bizilia. When did you start to really drop? I feel like it was maybe like a year ago ish. You started to drop some swag, like some socks and stuff.
It was COVID.
COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe it was a little bit before COVID. I think we got a lot more into it after we were closed for like 3 months or something like that. Something crazy.
Wow. From like
Yeah.
March to June or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was June when we got back into it. But
'Cause-
we're like, man, we would deliver coffee to people, but we weren't, like making enough to like pay the like 5 people that were still needed to get paid, and so we did that. And then, I mean, as you can tell, we only have these 2 options right now. We have a lot more shirts and stuff at the shop, but we've kind of started doing a little bit less. We're trying to we're really trying to rethink our merch situation, because I mean, I don't know like what better way to like say it. We're trying to do less stuff, like put less stuff out into the world.
Totally.
And so we're like, man, how do we do that right? Because there's nothing wrong with selling merch and stuff, but
NFTs, baby.
yes, like how do we make
Like
how
all digital.
yes,
assets.
how do we get more into the metaverse? So, but we thought of some good idea. But I like that. Thanks for wearing the socks, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
I
They're
like-
great socks,
yeah.
man. I'm a sucker for our socks too. I'm not usually like a graphic sock guy, but sometimes you can't help yourself.
Me either. I don't do graphic socks. I can't stand them.
No.
Those
Those are fly.
a little minimal.
Those are
I
fly.
like them.
But yeah,
And your question is, how did we get?
how did you get to this point? You responded, you see, what did you say? You're like, you see one? We have one? Did you say something like that?
Yeah. I just didn't know that people like I think the idea is as little brand as possible.
I think that is, you're saying intentionally that is the idea.
Yeah. So go back to see if you can and see if you should be able to see this. Click on cafe menu again. So
Oh, sorry.
is the side track is the same type, the same size as everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like came from the as little brand as possible. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be like oh, that's their brand and this is the website. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's the website. And Sidetrack is moving just because it's, I don't know, it was just like to different, like to make it a little bit different than everything else, so you can't just click on it. To know what it is, I guess.
I clicked on it.
But we just didn't want people to, we don't want to like our brand to be like brand.
Yeah.
Brand. Because that's not what we are. In our context, it's just, we're not really a brand. I mean, if people know about us from, another city or another state or anywhere else, like, they're not going to be like, oh, like, dude, this really, really cool brand. Like, what they could follow us. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, like that might help if they follow us. But really, it's the people sitting right across from us.
Yeah.
People that are in the house right next to us. And they don't need us to like flash our brand in front of their face for them to remember us. It's really just the interaction we had with them, and we hope to continue that for the rest of our lives. And I mean, like the last graphic we did for the Throwdown is just the same. It's the same vibe. It's like that typeface, the sans serif thing, and it should just like stay. It's pretty. There's no brand, but I guess it does stand out as a brand after you do it enough.
I think that you just answered my question. I mean, obviously, because you understand it way more than I do. Like, that's just the perfect answer. It's like, I didn't know how to put it into words, but like, your brand is minimal, like, in your face branding. It's just like, I think about how all the times I've seen your profile picture change, or your favicon, whatever you call it, like throughout the years, it's like it changes, and I'm just like, I wish we could do that. We could just change it to something like just like a picture of the world and just like call it a day. But yeah. I see that, and I know it's you. So, and then this is just a good testament of it too. It's just like, this is you guys, and it's not all pictures of coffee drinks, and I love it.
Yeah, I did want to kind of just test those waters of like, you're talking about being in high school and there's latte art throwdowns every Thursday, and you got a lot of people talking about coffee, and you got a lot of people talking about maybe even like competitions. And I got a call last week from someone talking about Boston and like USBC, and someone asking for like some competition glasses. And I was like, oh my gosh, like SCA or like USBC is happening right now? I had no idea. I'm like totally, and I hope it's not, I'm not trying to like, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to like put ourselves on blast or like act like we're better than whatever. But I guess just, I feel like being out in Alpharetta, being so focused like on our team and like on the development and like kind of what you're talking about with gifting, which I thought was really beautiful. And thanks for saying all that and just sharing. But just being so internally focused on like our team, our own vision, our own like path. I kind of like look up sometimes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I kind of forget about this like coffee community at large that's doing like these big expos and these big competitions and these meetings. And I forget that like a lot of people work at coffee shops so that they can like hone their skills so that they can go to competitions and worlds. And I just feel like we're like being in wholesale, we like kind of like ebb and flow with proximity to that world. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Sure.
And we want to be like a coffee roaster that is viewed as like excellent, and people, if they want to serve excellent coffee and they don't roast their own, they're like, oh, I'd love to work with these people because they do an amazing job. But then on the flip side, we're also just like doing our own thing and like so in on that we're not really looking around at quote unquote industry. We're just like, we're serving Alpharetta and we're going to be serving Dunwoody, and we're just going to be like tending to those areas and the people that work in our company. So like, where do you ever hit that path or that like world of like, I have a coffee shop, thus I'm kind of a part of this like industry, and there's chatter and there's people and there's people that go from shop to shop, and there's like trends, and there's like hot roasters that you can work with, and there's like all that.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about that?
Well, I'm in a spot to where we like serve hot roasters, and then we have this like, we only, our one thing is the people right in front of us. Like, we're invested in our community. So it's like, if you looked at it, you're like, so what? Like, what do they really care about? Because remember when we were younger and we were going in the coffee industry, we only cared about the USBC. That's why we were doing what we were doing. So we could hone our, we're going to serve, like, oh my gosh, they're not getting cappuccino. So like, I hate that customer. Or they're not getting a single origin V60. So like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till the next person comes in here and gets a V60. So I can like hone my craft.
Mm-hmm.
Or that shop is not serving that coffee roaster, so they're not good enough for me to go. And so if someone looked at us, they're like, man, the way that they treat people is like, they're not like, they don't judge anyone for getting a sugary latte or whatever. They're like, it's a big deal that they're just in there. But they also serve this coffee from Sweden that's real, like, why aren't they at USBC right now? Why weren't we there last week? But I think that line, that where are we, there's a way to do both. It just comes from the why. If you step back to why do I care so much about honing this craft, this industry craft of this coffee thing? And when people see, y'all know this, when people see other people excited, passionate, in love with what they do, and even more so to share it, like, it is just, oh my gosh, it is the most just gorgeous, gobsmacking moment to where you're wowed, like you're watching Bon Iver play music, and it's just phenomenal how all those people come together and make that possible, that sound possible. And then you go to Valor, and the same thing happens, right? I think there's a way to do both. You make an incredible, you understand the science and the industry of coffee, and you can go to USBC one week and come back and do the same thing that we do the next week. Mm-hmm. And there's really no distinction. It's kind of where what some people pick a lane. If their care is at these SCA events and these throwdowns or whatever. Because when I was like, if you get a cappuccino, I love you. And when I was in high school, like, and I was like, I know everything about coffee, which is hilarious, by the way.
Because you did.
You knew everything about, and so it's like, if you get a cappuccino, we're good. If you don't, then I'm like just waiting for the next person to get a drink that I wanted to make, But then
it was 2 hours later.
And it was
because that's how it actually works.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that's a good point. I hope that answered the question. But like, to me, gosh, it's so hard for me to stay. It really is hard for me to stay focused, because that's really I don't work the bar as much. So, like, it's really up to the people working the bar, and that's where their lane is. Like Hannah and Austin, they stay strapped on coffee knowledge and growing there, so to be able to share it. And I try my best as well when I can, because coffee is just always, like, there's always something new every week, it seems like. Thank you, Matt Berger. But thank you. But it's just you gotta understand why you're doing what you're doing. And I don't really think I don't know if it gets muddy when you're talking about what's the right way and the wrong way to do that. But I know what you mean. But
yeah. No, I appreciate the insight. I think one of the cooler experiences I had in where I met, like, I saw the middle. I see it at Sidetrack all the time. So I more of was posing that question as high praise to you guys for being so well known for amazing coffee, amazing like detail, and like I don't know what better word besides like crafting things like in house and making it so intimate, while also doing all of that. When you're talking about the why, doing it all just to share it for someone who maybe doesn't even have a full grasp of why. And it's not like that's not the big deal. I think that's a big delineation, is like, maybe if you're just obsessed with the industry, you just do the excellence so that you can get the recognition for such.
Yeah.
But it seems like what we try to do, and what I see you guys really nailing, is like doing these things and putting in the hours so that you can provide an amazing service for someone who doesn't really dig in and need to know why.
Yeah.
But that's like beyond the point. I think a lot of industries really get that. It's like, an electrician doesn't need me to know the ins and outs of all the wiring he does on like our setup. Like if he was doing the electrical work in our Dunwoody space, like he doesn't need me to know the ins and outs of it to feel appreciated. He's getting paid and he's being thanked and he's being appreciated by us without like a shared knowledge. So I think that's cool. I lost my train of thought because I went tangential.
Tangential.
Tangential?
Tangent.
Tangent?
Like tangentialized.
Isn't tangential like to go on a tangent? Like,
Yeah.
that was a tangential conversation.
It's just hard for me to say it.
Tangential.
No, I've never heard that word before. I've heard tangent.
Sure,
But
we can
That's a
Google
good
it.
one. You went tangential.
I just went full tangential. Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can just end it there, saying you guys ride that line super well of coffee excellence and industry, like pushing industry while also being so hyper focused on your own community.
I mean, and to book in that, dude, we wish we were so much better at it too. Mm-hmm. Like we see a lot of areas in which we can grow, and that we are gonna, I mean, most likely endlessly pursue. I know we're big critics of ourselves, but I mean, gosh, thinking from the day one of the flow jet, all the plumbing being above when we first started. I mean, it was just every day you walked in and you see everything you would change. Everything. And it's just this curse. It's going into other coffee shops and like it being an unpleasant experience because you see everything would change.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a curse, but it's, with the right perspective, it's can be a little, it can be a really, really good thing. Cause it's like, it's like the thing of the full menu of human perfection. I mean, I really have so many areas that I wish I can improve on, and I know I can improve on. So I'm gonna get after it. It's the same thing with our cafes and stuff. That line that we ride with the hot roasters and the hot roasters and the hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do both? How can a restaurant serve the best food but have the best hospitality? Like how can they do that? It's totally possible, but it's hard work and care if you're actually passionate and you love doing it. And you hear that story all the time. It's like everyone tells each other that, especially in cafes. You're like, dude, if you love what you're doing, you love work a day in your life. And it's like, everyone keeps on saying that, but we forget that fast. So thank you. We're trying.
Mission successful.
Dude, we're trying here.
Yeah, we're
So give us a 5-star review, please.
If you like what you're hearing, give Sidetrack and Valor a 5-star review.
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, what's next?
What's next for?
Yeah, for you, for Sidetrack.
Gosh, along the lines of working with people in our community and helping them like start. We have with Sidetrack. I think about what's next for Sidetrack, and our space is a really, 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 really old building. and so it's constant work. When we first moved in there, it didn't look at all what it looks like now.
Did it have the skylight?
No.
Whoa.
Great ad. Great ad. When I think about Sidetrack, I just think about the centered bar with the skylight. That's when we were talking about branding. I forgot to mention that. Like, I just think about that and how awesome it is. I'm just like, so good. So
Which we do plan on adding more.
more
More skylights.
Oh, more skylight.
Man.
Oh, cool.
And we dream all the time. Most of our time, I feel like, when me and Austin meet, we always are dreaming of different things to do as we grow. And so we'll add, I think we definitely plan on adding these more skylights to where we'll be doing a really big interior reno sometime, maybe at the end of this year. We'll see. It'll probably be a little bit heftier, having to get some more structural engineers to be in there. But dude, we're still I feel like outfitting our home for how we want to serve people with our space. And then eventually our plan and our dream is we really do want to give people more jobs. We want to grow so we can, especially with people that are in the community. They ask us, hey, is there any way we can be a part of Sidetrack anyway? I'm like, dude, we're booked up right now, but if you're around, just wait, And so we have some food concepts in the works that we're really, really excited about, that hopefully will kind of carry our space for a long time. And it'll be our excitement is to serve something different, hopefully present someone with a different outlook about what they're eating, because in our area, not to rag on any of the great restaurants that we have, but those restaurants have the same 5 dishes, and it's all meat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you have your burger, you have your steak, you have your tenderloin, you have your 2 fish options, and then, fries. And that's every restaurant. Maybe there's a lamb thrown in there somewhere. I don't know. But that's it. And those are like the nice restaurants. And I think that we've all traveled, a little bit. That doesn't have to be the case. Mm-hmm. But that's what people like, and that's what people are eating, when they go out to eat. So, especially breakfast too. Like, breakfast is such a muddy, eggs, bacon, and whatever else. That's what people eat, And so we just thought about maybe shaking up the status quo there, or challenging the status quo there, because there is better possible. I mean, me and all my roommates, we have great breakfasts, great dishes, At home, we're like, man, it'd be really, really great to share this. There's nothing worse than eating a beautiful meal, like, alone, like, not sharing it. You're like, oh my gosh, like, I could have just had some toast and ham, like, this would have been fine, so that's kind of what we've been thinking about for the future. I feel like we've been working on that for several years now, but I think with the right context and the right time, with these developments, we kind of take it in stride. Gosh, I feel like I would just want to throw out all the ideas, but they're all a little half-baked.
Well, I love that your main idea goes back and kind of confirms that idea of, like, the most natural and the most fruitful concepts are overflows of the home, and then, like, what's starting with your house and what it's like to eat breakfast at David's house could then translate into what's on the food menu at Sidetrack, and that starts to really impact thousands of people, and then people start hearing about it, and there's ripple effects in neighboring cities and states. And it all just came from some guys eating breakfast at your house.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun being able to. It's like why you want to invite people over to go to quickly salt that point, but to invite people, be like, oh my gosh, like I like Austin, like that was like amazing, dude. We have to have people over to like enjoy that. And once you do that enough, and Austin gets tired of making those like veggie tacos, like, dude, you should open up a taco. You should open up a business.
I think if you like doing something, just open a business doing it,
You'll never get tired of it.
You'll
like
never
your new
look a day in your life.
kombucha business,
Yeah.
your new ultimate Frisbee business.
Well,
Come
my
on.
my wife doesn't like the smell of my kombucha right now, so we're at a crossroads, to say the least.
Man.
But let's see what happens. I'll get a fermentation station like Brad Leone.
Yeah.
Get my own
There you
little
go.
area.
Brad Leone.
You know the man?
He's the he's Squirrels competition.
What?
You know Squirrel in LA.
Is he like the Brad Leone?
Oh, I
but-
know Squirrel. Yeah.
Squirrel?
Yeah.
Fill me in here. I mean, I haven't.
Wait,
mental.
you seriously?
No, I don't. Throw him up on the big screen.
How do you spell it again? Isn't it funny?
SQIRL.
Oh, cool.
Skips their website, goes to their Instagram.
I feel like,
Yeah.
more compressed.
Dude, this is hot. I mean, not like they're hot,
Right,
they
when you
are.
went to a group picture.
but no, I didn't mean to. But like that vibe is hot right now. You know what I mean? Like the photoshopped out dish, which I love.
Squirrel. Okay, I'm sorry. I actually have heard of this.
The jams. I think they got popular with the jams.
Yep.
Jams.
Yep.
Delicious jams and jellies.
Let's see
Man,
the
I'm
website.
hungry. Squirrel.
Hey, kind of looks like Sidetrack. Oh,
Oh, never mind.
I did for a
I
second.
like that.
We like that.
Open 7 days a week. Dogs welcome.
Dog.
So that's what, when they had a meeting talking about the website, they said, all right, first thing you see is we want people to know that we're open 7 days a week and that dogs are welcome. Those were their two most important things.
They nailed it.
That's
The
the
story
convers-
brand?
Speaks for itself right there.
Isn't that funny? Like, a lot of people go to our website looking, probably like preparing to go to our cafe, and our website
Doesn't
doesn't
Meet
point
that
towards
need.
our cafe intentionally,
totally.
but
It's like
it's kind
any.
of like is what it is kind of thing.
It's like a company's website should just, the front page should be the FAQ, Like this is what you might be looking for this. Here it is.
Yeah.
I wonder what would be our FAQ.
What do you think? What's the number one question?
Maybe.
Where'd you get the name?
How do you say it?
Do people ask y'all that?
Oh yeah.
And y'all say,
We have no idea. You tell us.
I think our listeners. My name is Ross.
Yeah, what would you say, Ross? I think I usually say like, when we were starting the company, we really felt drawn to this name, Valor. It just has a deep meaning for courage in the face of adversity, and it translates to Spanish. Valor translates to value in Spanish, and we have always wanted to set our company up on like a set of core values, and that guides us in what we do. And then they're like, yeah.
And they're like,
They're like, okay.
Yeah, they kind of like put their head down, shake, and say, I'm out of here.
that's what I like to hear.
But if we're being real, me and Ross were flipping through a thesaurus and found the word valor. We were like, I don't know any other companies called Valor. I'm serious.
No, that's good.
Yeah, man. So, yeah.
Thus it was born. But that's kind of like kind of goes back to the theme of just falling into things that kind of make sense later, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
That's probably number one question.
Yeah. What would we change, dude? Any final thoughts, questions, concerns? I'm sure.
Yeah, what about your podcast topics?
This is my these are gonna be my final.
Ethan finally gave you back your phone.
Yeah. Your screen time, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, I heard that you were like 8 to 10 hours of screen time.
Me?
Yeah, that's kind of the rumor that's been flying around.
It's like such an insult to a certain type of person. You're like, I'm just not right.
It's under 2.
My brother did send our brother's group message a screenshot of his screen time from this past week, and it was an hour.
For the whole week or an hour a
I
day?
think it was an hour a day.
That's impressive, though. Right?
Yeah, that's why he sent it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up?
I didn't. And then my brother replied, "What do you do with all your free time?"
Dude, what do you
Depends
do?
on what you define as free time.
Sure.
Hey, so I want to know, when do you feel caught up?
When do I feel caught up? Once all the like most important
The soil.
Ew. Whoa. May contain paper. Interesting. I think if the most important projects are up to date, like the cafe build out, like if I've responded and given the architect, a general contractor, and like the site manager everything they need. Those are like and the real estate agent. Those are like the 4 entities of the build out that need to be doing things. And if they have everything they need from me, I feel like that's good. On the other side, if everyone that is working at the cafe knows that I love them and I've attended to their most immediate needs, I feel caught up. And if nothing's broken, and if we have everything stocked properly, that's when I feel caught up. I feel caught up a lot. Just sometimes I don't. You have to catch up. Business lingo, man. Is that funny?
Yeah, I know. That was so cryptic for the listeners.
We were just talking about what it's like to feel behind and then what it takes to get caught up.
Yeah. But that's the way you put actually to be frank, if I was frank. Gosh, just knowing what you're responsible for. And I just get scatterbrained all the time. So sometimes I forget what I'm responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff that I am responsible for just gets folded up in the back. And,
Sure.
And then I have that, oh my gosh, I gotta get caught up.
Yeah, kind of what you were talking about finding people's giftings and meeting with people, talking to people. I feel that being stretched out in me as far as so much of my job is just, I may have said this before on air, but it's like team care, like just being a voice and an ear to the people in our midst, whether that is guests, but mostly team, and speaking with them and meeting with them and making time and space for them to do what, I don't know, you just referenced Danny Meyer earlier, but that idea of constant gentle pressure in their lives of example, encouragement, and also like exhortation as far as pushing them into something better and greater. But that's when I really feel a sense of like I'm doing proactive, good work, is when I get to have those types of meetings and conversations and take steps to see people grow in those ways.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were talking about a list. Can you talk about the origination of your list that you just read for us?
I just want to quickly say for our listeners, our recording stopped. We took a break, and we're back for the list.
Do you know if we covered the list?
What?
Or did the
the list got covered. It got cut off, but most of it was covered for sure.
Okay, so where'd you get it?
What?
I was about to say no. I was gonna be like, where did you get the list? Also, have you had it for a while?
Yeah, it's I think from 2020.
It's just like if you were on a podcast, what would you talk about?
Yeah, and then okay, I'll pull it back out. Stop pressure.
We can lightning round a good few of those if you wanna start it over with yes or
the
no
people I share this
answers.
This with might get upset about me like pawning this off to a podcast.
Oh, because this could be gold for something else.
Yeah, but
I see.
this was never going to be. I think this was never going to be an actual podcast. But we have potential locations that this podcast could be at. Potential names for the podcast, potential guests, and then notes on the podcast, which we only have 2 notes. But the names are really good. We have Are We There Yet? Gear Shift. Stick Shift. Good Talkers. Backtrack. Talking About Nothing. Rest Stop. Roundabout. 2-Step Podcast. Talking in Circles. Sidebar. Side Note. Do you see a theme here? It's just the whole thing is based off all these topics. Like it could have been something to do with Tenet, but I mean, like, just like no, besides the Tenet thing, nothing is consecutive on the topics. So we're thinking about Gear Shift would be a good one.
I see.
Like we could name this session of a podcast.
Welcome to the Gear Shift. We ask like some lightning round questions.
Yeah.
Well, Ross, do you like Tenet? Were you a Tenet fan?
I liked it. Yes.
Did you love it? Like, would you marry it?
If I had to
Let's not go.
marry,
Where you're
if I had to marry, kill,
kiss?
or kiss Inception, Tenet, and The Dark Knight, I would kill Tenet. Loved it though. I would kiss The Dark Knight, and I would marry Inception.
Wow.
Wow.
Inception is the best movie ever made, but no one can say it.
Wow. I love that. I love that for you.
No one would say that. Like I wouldn't even say that.
You have to keep it to yourself.
No, like the best movie ever made is. Wait, that's tough. Like, The Dark Knight.
Like Tenet.
But you discuss it?
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants to marry number one, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to see what I've given 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Wow.
Wait, what is the top movie or the top 5?
You hear it? Coffee?
The white noise in the back.
Shh. It's raining here at the roastery. I love, one of my favorite movies is A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. You familiar?
Do you want to touch him? Do you want to touch him?
My lords, my ladies,
My foxy lady.
and everyone else not sitting on a cushion. That's a good movie.
Great movie.
It's probably, I would just say for fun that it's my favorite movie, you know, even though it's not like the best movie. Mm-hmm. Me and my older brother had a VHS collection as kids to teens, and we would just go to thrift stores and buy dozens of VHSs at a time and watch them. And A Knight's Tale was a frequent like rewatch for us.
Same in our household. DVD though.
Oh, DVD, nice. Do you have any favorite movie that comes to mind? Or a 5-star that you've enjoyed lately?
My 5 stars, I feel like I need to give myself a better rating system.
Yeah.
It's funny. My 5 stars are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse The Dark Knight, Dune,
Oh,
The
Little
original.
Women.
that was a good
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
I know. I feel like a lot of people would snipe me for that being because a
Really?
lot of people see some flaws with that.
I mean,
But,
these are all the most recent ones.
yeah, and then we go to a little bit older. Shawshank Redemption. Loved that movie.
One of the best. One of the best.
Return of the King. Lord of the Rings. And then moving down to 4.5s, I have Knives Out, Inception, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Arrival, Blade Runner 2048, Empire Strikes Back. You know, kind of what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
But what are the best movies ever made?
You guys ever watch The Green Mile?
With
that's
Tom
a
Hanks?
good one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I would recommend. I watched it recently. I was touched. I really enjoyed it.
Do you guys think Forrest Gump is one of the greatest movies ever made?
Great podcast topic.
I'd say it's in the top 10.
I mean, it's just one of those movies that you have to watch if it's on. Like if you're on cable
Yeah.
When
and
you're
Forrest
on
Gump
cable.
is on, you're just like, I could watch this right now.
This is the question. Is Forrest Gump a perfect movie? Yes. Is it the best movie ever made? No.
What would you change? Yeah, that's a good point. Like, what would you change about Forrest Gump?
Nothing. Have I cried every time I've watched Forrest Gump? Did they do their job as actors, producers, directors? Yes. I cried every time. I cry every single time. I'm getting really vulnerable right now.
Are you crying right now?
He's crying.
First movie I ever cried in was A Beautiful Mind. Thanks for asking.
What's that movie? I don't know.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, cool.
It's about John Nash, the mathematician in Princeton that has schizophrenia.
Whoa. First movie I ever cried in was
Nanny McPhee.
no, I cried.
Two.
It was around the same. It was around like 7 or 8, and I cried right after football practice. I came home. It was eating dinner, and Bridge to Terabithia was on, and it just broke my little kid heart. And then, what is the movie? It's a football movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Radio.
I also cried
We're here
hearing
with
that. Yeah.
We're here with you. Maybe, yeah.
Mine was probably My Girl. You guys know My Girl?
Is that the Hutchinson? Josh Hutchinson?
No. It's what's that kid's name? He's in. It's like a '90s movie.
Oh, Macaulay Culkin?
No, I don't think it's Macaulay Culkin. Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh my gosh.
Spoiler alert: he dies at the end.
Aw, man.
So, like, Bridge to Terabithia.
Yeah,
adjacent.
along those same lines.
Oh my gosh.
But they have a My Girl 2 with a different guy?
What? Are you serious?
If you go to bottom right,
What?
Jamie Lee Curtis again? Dang, Dan Aykroyd? Again?
Looks like a bad boy.
Woo! I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I said Nanny McPhee because that was the first movie I ever fell asleep to, in theaters.
It's funny that you know that.
No, I mean, so sorry, I've fallen asleep. I'm sure I'd fallen asleep to many movies as a child at home.
The Bonnie
but
Bear movie.
yeah.
Dude, too soon.
But I fell asleep to that in the theaters, and I woke up and I was sad because I was like 7.
Like I missed the
I
movie.
missed the movie,
Oh man.
but it must not have been that good. If I fell asleep. You know?
It's pretty good. Like, it was like for that age,
Okay.
like that checked all the boxes off, you know?
We want to hear from you. Leave comments about what you think of Nanny McPhee.
I can't
Was the
believe you
sequel
said
better?
Nanny McPhee.
We'll see.
Gosh, had to have been.
I
But-
thought Tenet was good. I thought it was good. I feel the same way about maybe it's just movies with Robert Pattinson. I was like, it was good. Did it let me down from hype of
Yeah.
what it was gonna be? Yes, it did. And maybe that's just because Nolan releases movies every few years, and I
Yeah.
want it to be
Yeah.
perfect.
This is what happened. It was a Christopher Nolan movie. It was amazing, right? Everything was just, you have the music and everything coming to the end. You know, I was hearing a lot of this. A lot of people were confused the whole time. Like they couldn't.
It's just too confusing.
Yeah, they were like, and I was too. I don't know. They were like in the scene. They're in the restaurant, and then Michael Caine says something to the actor. He's like, "You're gonna have to wear something different than Brooks Brothers or something," you know. And that scene, they just said a bunch of names that had never been mentioned.
Yep.
And you were just like, I nothing they said made sense. Like I don't know where I am right now, you know. And that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people said they never caught up to what was happening in the movie, you know. And then they have the big plot line of everything being reversed to where every viewer can understand.
Can I play a YouTube video right now?
Yes.
Have you guys ever seen this?
No.
I've started without you. I hope you don't mind. You British. What is it
This video is called "That Scene in a Christopher Nolan Movie When You Give Up Trying to Follow the Story."
with your obsession with chips? We don't obsess over chips. Only the weather. Now to business. I understand you're interested in a certain Russian by the name of Petrov.
What do you know about him?
He's been passing sensitive information to MI5 for 10 years.
So he's an asset.
No. The information turned out to be false. We believe that he's working for someone else and passing information from MI5 over to them.
The Russians.
No. The Russians imprisoned him after a plot that he was involved in to steal a nuclear weapon was foiled.
He went to jail?
No. A doppelganger was put in his place and he fled to Oslo. It was there where he met his wife, Linda Purcell, a multimillionaire big in diamonds. Now, our satellite detected a detonation in Siberia 3 weeks ago. The following day, Petrov and Purcell flew directly to that site. On the way there, the plane crashed.
Accident?
It was hit by a missile.
Ah.
We salvaged fragments of the missile and traced them back to a weapons company in Germany called Schmerzelsfolger.
Never heard of them.
That's because they don't exist. At least, not yet.
What do you mean?
2 days before the detonation in Siberia, we intercepted a phone call between Petrov and a man called Darian Burkar to start a weapons company in Germany called Schmerzelsfolger.
Darian Burkar, the scientist? I thought he was dead.
He is dead. Or rather, he isn't.
What does that mean?
He's dead, but he won't.
Anyways, you get the point.
No, that's
Yeah, I
that's
still-
every
Have you-
Michael Caine
Oh yeah.
monologue.
That's the thing. He is, or he isn't.
But he always does the no.
No.
Like, yeah, that's good. That's kind of what Tenet, but in like most of it. But I loved it.
There is something to just riding along on a movie. And I think maybe that's what they're going for, is like, you don't have to understand it. You're just watching it. I don't know. Because like when he started fighting a guy who had a like bike helmet on, I was like, oh man, that's totally, he's fighting himself right now. I don't exactly know how that works. I don't know if I'm going to figure out why that is how it is, but I just know that that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Choreographed beautifully.
And I'm into it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, they're fighting really
Yeah.
crazy.
Have y'all seen it again?
I think that is my indicator for not thinking it is an excellent movie. Is that I saw it in the theaters and I was like, this is a movie I need to watch again to understand more. But I've never been able to force myself to do it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet,
Same.
but I've seen The Dark Knight
Yeah,
30 times.
same.
And like when someone turns on The Dark Knight, I'm like,
Hooked.
I'm watching this whole thing, and you get something new almost every time. You're like, I never heard them say that, or I never saw that.
Very true. Very true.
So maybe it's our fault for, 1, loving The Dark Knight too much, 2, not giving Tenet a fair chance. And to the podcast topic's point, is Tenet actually good? Yes. But
Yeah.
I don't think we've given a fair chance yet. I don't think anyone has.
Wow. Do you guys see or like Memento?
No.
Yeah, great movie.
It chimes a similar bell to me that it makes you jump right in. You don't really know what's going on, and you like kind of figure out how it works as it's going, but you still don't have like a complete grasp. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I was just like, well, I'm just going to watch this and enjoy it. And I did. It was great.
To your point of I think, what's it called? The letterboxed. Is that what you have? I got in a really big argument with Oliver. I think you met him at the concert that you came to in Auburn a while ago. But we were talking about having a rating system. And it went back to just the plain viewing and appreciation of a movie, no matter what. And because I gave a movie like three stars, but I liked the movie.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed this movie, but I gave it 3 stars, which I no longer have Letterboxd because of this discussion I'm at. Because I'm like, I'm just going to watch movies and appreciate them, or just watch them. I really think that rating a movie, is it good? Is it like not trying to get too deep? Like, what did this movie do for me? Because I fell asleep to Knives Out, and my family gives me credit for it.
Yikes.
I know.
Ross fell asleep to Knives Out too, so maybe there's something to you sitting in his chair.
Has his name on it too. Ross.
All that to say, you watch movies. You don't watch movies. You like movies. You don't like movies. That's it.
It's fair.
I think, yeah, I totally agree. My rating system on Letterboxd is whack. Like, I have a lot of like Marvel movies that aren't good Marvel movies that are like 4 stars. Because I think maybe I'm like the flip side of what you said. Like, you see a movie and you think it's good and you give it a 3 stars, which is technically like a 60%. I watch a Marvel movie and I'm like, this movie is not good, but I sat there the whole time and I was like, and so like I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
4 stars. But I also have like other movies that I think are like critically excellent that are like 4.5 stars.
So it's like different rating systems.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess so.
I just couldn't say if I gave that movie 5, if I gave Lord of the Rings Return of the King 5 stars, I couldn't give what was the movie that I gave 3 stars to? That I was like, I just can't compare it to these 4 and 5 star movies.
I get it.
Which makes sense, just comparable. But my rating is whack too.
Yeah. Maybe mine is based more on enjoyability. I don't know.
There's something to it for me, at least, of like, am I going to think about this later? And am I thinking about this later? Because there's definitely some movies I watch where I just walk out of the theater. I'm just like, done. I'm never thinking about this again.
What movie was that for you?
I was trying to think. A big one was Licorice Pizza. I watched it and I walked out and I was like, I had a conversation with my wife on the way home of, why do you think they made a movie about a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old being in a relationship? And then after that conversation, it was like, done. I'm not thinking about this ever again. But I thought about the Batman afterwards a lot.
A movie I thought about a lot after I saw it was what's the movie with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper?
A Star is Born.
Yeah. It just like rattled me. I don't know. Because it was dark ending. I didn't think it was like a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think if that's your only metric, then a movie would probably just all be about like shock factor or like
scary.
Yeah, trying to like get you to think about it. So it's definitely just a piece of the puzzle. Because I thought a good bit about King Richard. I thought it was an interesting story after seeing it. Trying to think about what other of this year Oscar nominated movies I saw, because there were some pretty good movies this year.
I'll tell you a movie I didn't think a lot about after I saw it. Morbius.
Oh.
Worst movie I've ever seen in theaters.
Wait,
That's been the chatter around town. Seriously.
It was so bad, and I saw it like I have the stupid movie subscription, like the AMC thing, and I just go to movies because why not? And I went, and it was really, really bad.
was it worse than Escape Room?
Is that
How do you know that I saw Escape Room?
Bro, you talk
how do you
about
know
it.
all this stuff?
Huh?
One time okay. They're probably pretty even. That movie was also very terrible. I saw Escape Room
Busted.
because I was with a group of people and they were like, let's go to the movies. And then that was what they picked.
You were just a victim.
I was the victim, okay, of Escape Room. That movie was very bad as well. But I honestly think it was better than Morbius. Morbius had so many plot holes that it was just like, and that's what, like, me and Michaela walked out of the theater and we started to talk about it, and like the things that didn't make sense, or like the questions that remained unanswered, not to like for like ambiguity, but like just because it was terrible writing. And then I think we just gave up.
You're like, you know what?
Really?
This
You know
movie
what?
does
Let's
not
just turn on the
deserve.
radio.
This movie doesn't even deserve our consideration or like
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah,
It was
that's
bad.
Weird.
that's how it was for the Godzilla. I think it was like 7, 8 years ago. That one that came out with the guy from Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston. Yes, I totally remember that chatter. It was like, people.
It was. I mean, it was. There was some big like. If you did this much for a movie, do you watched it?
Yes.
Where the bomb had 3 hours. It had 3 hours. Like the atomic bomb that's gonna blow up the world it started counting down from 3 hours, which I think any sort of bomb counting down is just kind of a plot hole in and of itself.
It's just like detonate the
This
bomb.
was 3 hours, so it was really bad. It was a really bad. And then so it was daytime when the bomb, started ticking down, and then it went to nighttime, and then it blew up when the sun came up.
What?
It had been 24 hours. It had been 24 hours, and I went, "Oh no!"
Someone wasn't thinking.
Like they keep on, how the movie, whenever there's a timer going down, the movie has to keep on going back to what that time's at to show relativity of what's happening, how much time has passed in the movie. They keep on doing that, but and then the sun came up, and I'm with all my high school buddies. There's like 8 of us, and we're all going, "Oh no!" Like the sun's coming up, and I think we were in the parking lot for like 4 hours, laughing so hard at all the plot holes in it. And I will say this: 5 stars.
That was the most recent movie you cried in?
No, I mean, like, I gotta give it 5 stars because my experience was so good.
Yeah, totally.
Like, they got me.
It's like watching The Room or Troll 2, all those movies. You're like, what? They made such a bad movie. That happened. You guys
You've watched Trolls 2?
No, Troll 2. You
Oh,
guys know what I'm talking about?
Troll 2. I thought you said Trolls.
No.
Dude, have you heard of The Room?
No.
So The Room?
Oh, I know The Room.
There's just historically poorly made movies like that are either really low budget or like, I don't know how they sneak into production. Maybe they weren't even like shown in theaters, but somehow someone picked it up and either put it on DVD or something. But there's a movie made by a guy named Tommy Wiseau called The Room, where he just like funded his own movie and made his own movie.
Dude, you've totally heard of it. You remember that movie that came out a couple years ago, The Disaster Artist with James Franco?
I have heard of that movie. Yeah.
And the whole scene on the ceiling where he's like, I did not hit her. I didn't do it. This is bullshit. I did not.
No. Wait, so that's about The Room?
It's just a bio about the creating of that movie. And so, yeah, anyways, if you watch the actual movie, it's just like hysterical, such a good time. You get like a bunch of people together and you watch a terrible movie and you laugh at it.
We did that with a movie called Checkmate.
Oh, sure.
Have you heard that?
I haven't, but it sounds...
So it must be like that. I mean, that's... Like,
yeah. And there's one called Troll 2 where there was like a popular 80s horror movie called Troll. And then someone else entirely just made a movie called Troll 2 about goblins. And
Oh, no.
And it is hysterical.
Oh, no.
It was on Netflix. It might still be on Netflix.
Oh no.
So this is The Room.
Oh no.
2003 American
Oh, no.
independent romantic drama.
We're gonna get copy striked for watching this.
Oops. Oh, yes.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Yeah, can I have a dozen red roses, please?
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
Favorite customer.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I was working as a busboy in a hotel, and she was sitting, drinking her coffee, and she was so beautiful. And I say hi to her. That's how we met.
You didn't get it, did you?
The son of a bitch told me that I would get it within 3 months. I saved them bundles. They're crazy. I don't think I will ever get it. They betrayed me. They didn't keep their promise. They tricked me, and I don't care anymore. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you're just a chicken.
I cannot believe this exists.
You can come out now, Johnny. She's gone.
In a few minutes, bitch.
People are very strange these days. I used to know a girl. She had a dozen guys. One of them found out about it, beat her up so bad she ended up in a hospital on Guerrero Street.
What a story, Mark. You are lying. I never hit you.
These
You are
scenes are, like,
tearing me
perfectly
apart,
rolling into each
Lisa. You know what they say, love is blind.
How was work today?
Oh, pretty good. We got a new client at the bank. We'll make a lot of money.
What client?
I cannot tell you. It's confidential.
Oh, come on. Why not?
No, I can't. Anyway, how is your sex life? It's not over. Everybody be...
Oh, that about sums it up.
World.
But
You can love
yeah, horrible
someone deep
movie.
inside your
But
heart.
hilarious.
There is nothing wrong with it.
Wonderful.
If a lot of people love each other, the world would be a better place to live.
I just couldn't. How is that movie like 2 hours long? An hour and a half?
It's pretty lengthy. It's definitely a legit movie.
I couldn't.
There's like some really long graphic sex scenes too, which just makes it insane. I remember being like, yeah, in that one. I remember being 12 and my cousins had the DVD and they made me go. You know, you got the older cousins
That was Dumb and Dumber for us. And then I watched Dumb and Dumber and went, there's like 1,
yeah,
2 questionable scenes in it. Great movie though.
Yeah.
great movie.
No one talks about it. No one is talking about it.
Have you seen The Disaster Artist?
Mm-hmm.
That movie is just all about the making of The Room, which is it's a crazy story. It's just such a great story.
It's a good movie.
Like the details behind that roof scene, where he like goes and throws the water bottle, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Mark." Like it was shot. It took like 100 takes because he was that bad of an actor, clearly, and he just could not get the line right. And then they used that take because they were just like, we finally got one that was close enough.
It's crazy. Kind of about the Godzilla thing. Me and a group of buddies went to go see After Earth with Will Smith and Jaden Smith. And, you know, you kind of like watch a movie and you're like, it's just you in the movie, but you're with people. And then you leave the movie and someone kind of like brings up one thing, and then someone kind of brings up another thing. And you're like, I think this was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. Because at least for me, I was like, you know, probably 15 or 16 when it came out. And I just had this trust in the movie theater that if I was going to go see a movie, it was going to be like proper and like accurate and I don't know, normal. But then you're like, oh, wow, some movies kind of slip through the cracks and they're really bad. And they have plot holes and they don't make sense and the acting's bad and idea's bad, but it just gets made. That's one of those big.
Yeah, you wouldn't think. Yeah, you wouldn't think that movie. Someone was like, yes, yeah. Everyone, you have a huge crew of people being
All
like,
checking off on it.
Millions of
behind the
dollars.
camera.
We're good.
Yeah, keep it rolling. Yeah, no, that is true. That's what I thought about Godzilla. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There is no way.
It's everybody watched it and they're like, yeah, there's no problem that the bomb's going off 24 hours later. No problem.
Or just like the Godzilla like stepping on millions of people as he's like going through the city. Like I'm like everyone is like you're like watching everyone go, and Godzilla's like protecting the city, but he's also killing millions of people every step.
Hey, there's some symbolism in there
Yeah.
about the what do they call it? The
Means to an end or like cost of.
no, what the
Think, man. Think.
like the military industrial complex.
Whoa.
Yeah, let's just press into that a little bit.
No, I think that's one of our topics. Here.
Why don't you just give us one? Well, was there one that piqued your interest about
How
his-
every young person thinks they have enough to save for a podcast.
That was hilarious.
Which one were y'all thinking? Is hard kombucha a viable business model?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because
people drink
of
alcohol.
the previous.
Yeah, let's just lightning around a few of these. Yes or no answers.
Okay, is hard kombucha a viable business model? Yes.
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 How every young person thinks they have enough to save for a podcast?
Yes.
Yes.
How if you only drink on the weekends, you could still be an alcoholic?
Yes.
Yes.
Are parking tickets ethical? Yes.
Yes.
How many books have you actually
Questionable.
finished?
I mean, just in my life.
How many books have you actually finished? I think the question is, do people actually finish books?
Or do they like get what they wanted and don't finish the
Yeah.
book?
There was a book recently that I read. I read the whole thing, but
Thank God.
I feel like I almost got the idea pretty early on in the book.
Totally.
It was called The Art of Gathering by Priya Parker. But I read the whole book and glad that I read the whole book. Great book.
Oh.
I feel that way about the Jocko Willink book.
Oh yeah, the extreme ownership for
Yeah.
sure. There was another book. Oh, I was reading Garden City by Comer, and
I didn't finish that.
I got like halfway through. And I'm like, this guy's saying the same thing over and over again. But
That's
then I
how-
finished it, and I was like, oh, he wrapped up really well. That's great.
That's how I wrote all my papers in high school. I would just say the same thing over and over again. That's when actually me and my mom became, I realized my mom was like my best friend was when she was peer reviewing one of my papers and I was writing the apple is red and the orange is orange. Therefore, you could deduce that I was using academic language and saying, therefore, you could deduce that the apple is more of a red color and the orange is closer to an orange color. And then I would say it again and again and again and again, the same sentence. And my mom was like, David, you're saying the same thing, as she's like crying, laughing, reading my paper at how dumb it sounds. And then I was reading it too and went, oh my gosh, that's so dumb. Like I wasn't consciously aware that I was writing that. And so we were laughing one night, the night before the paper was due, and both decided that I need to like crumble up the piece of paper and start again, just not turn it in on time. And me and my mom became best friends after that. Wow. Yeah.
What a turning point, because I could totally see a child being upset or getting embarrassed that their mom is like putting them on blast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true.
Respect.
It's beautiful.
Thank you, Mom.
Do we think that people talk too much?
Yes.
Yes.
How many hours have we been going? This fits two of our points. Core study on work from home routines and outfits. Have they changed and have they gotten better?
What are you saying?
The topic is core study on work from home outfits and routines. And,
Outfits.
And to say, have they gotten better or worse?
Mm.
I don't have anything to say about this.
Outfits as in, I would say my work from home outfit has gotten better. Michaela gave me a pretty hard time yesterday when I was working from home, and I like put on my pants and shoes.
I don't work from home.
Routine.
But other people's. Do we think that other people's work from home?
Oh, I see. If you're on a Zoom call, then probably yeah, right?
But has it gotten worse since no one's actually seeing us? I think it's gotten better. I think people can focus more on their daily wears than they are in their office attire.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brother Michael, I feel like he's almost stepped up his game since he's not been going to the office at Deloitte as much.
There's more like personal expression.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Mm-hmm. Because
Nice.
Michael was wearing the suit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Michael's hilarious. One of the funniest people I know.
Definitely.
Last one. Does sun improve overall health?
Yes.
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 Vitamin D, serotonin.
No question.
But skin cancer.
Everything in moderation, buddy.
Except for alcohol on the weekends. Wait, or you still want that in moderation?
Yes.
Yes.
You avoided the Tenet question. You don't think it's good.
What? No, I liked it. I think it's a good movie.
He's getting dodgy.
I liked it. I think it's a good movie. I think, kind of like totally taking back what I said. Not taking back, but it's the reverse effect for me on a Nolan film. Like, there's no way he's not gonna make a good movie to me, and I don't want to like believe that going into the movie. Even though I believe that about most movies I see, is like there's a really good chance that this is like a poor movie, but I think he's a smart guy and he's gonna figure it out. He's got probably smart people around him.
He's got a formula.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like all the great directors, he has his actors, he has his you almost see the structure baked into the film.
I bet he would hate hearing that.
But it's true.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
You know, but I mean, think about. I mean, let's just go ahead since we brought him up before. Danny Meyer, he opens every restaurant the same way, right? They just serve different food. His values, his how he does it is always the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, he has great successes in some of them. And then some of them haven't, panned out. I think Blue Smoke closed or something not too long ago, which is I was trying to go to. But, I mean, Christopher Nolan, dude, if he's coming out with a movie, I'm going to watch that movie.
Totally.
I don't, I'm excited. He's made my, like a Dark Knight. I mean, he made like one of my favorite movies ever. I can't get over how good that movie was. But he has his structure, and it's awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
And thank you, Dave, for being on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave the people with?
The
76, the few, the proud, the 76.
I don't think there's much left to say.
Where can people find you and your businesses online or otherwise?
On Instagram. On Instagram. Email. You can email me at david@sidetrackcoffee.co.
Bold move.
Are you mentioned in like the city of Opelika's website? Like, do you have any like citywide recognition?
I do not know.
You should check it out.
Do y'all know that?
No.
About Alpharetta?
No idea. I just feel like if they had something, they would mention you guys. I feel like they'd be proud to have you.
I wonder what about that. I know we have a business organization, other than like the Chamber of Commerce. It's called Main Street, which is really cool. But then we have the Chamber of Commerce where we have like these banquets and stuff that all the businesses all get together and we talk about business stuff.
Do you do that?
Not, I mean, I don't really show up to those things.
We totally don't show up at those things in Alpharetta. And sometimes I wish that we would, like whenever they name our part of Alpharetta the Alpharetta Arts District. I'm just like, if one of us would have been there, could we have led the conversation in a different way?
Yeah. No, I can, I'll attend the Main Street meetings, which are kind of a smaller group of like businesses that are actually downtown, that are actually in Opelika. They're not just like these
Chili's up the street.
Like something. I mean, there's kind of those people show up to the Chamber of Commerce ones, but the Main Street one is like really close people that are constantly thinking about the growth of our communities and our neighborhoods, and it's cool. It's really cool how businesses talk to one another. And I'll show up to those and just hear what people's concerns are, and it gets hilarious about what people's like concerns are about, like how much traffic is coming their way and what they think about. I think something that we just started doing was food truck Fridays, which has been a great big success. And then we talk about stuff like that too. But being a part of those, I don't do the Chamber of Commerce one, like go to those meetings, because it just, I would be just, I guess I'm a little scared. I should as well. I should go to those. I just get like, this weird looking guy and everyone else is like 40 or 50 or 60. They're all lawyers and hair salon people. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can add. I haven't thought about it.
I have just believed this lie that it's too late for
Really?
me. Like I just like can't show up to the one in like June or May. Like it's like, bro, you've been around for 4 years. Where have you been? Like,
Been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah.
They were on a shift. I was always working when they happened, but now I'm not.
Did you hear that, Alfreda?
Yeah, I'm busy. Sorry.
But I think it makes a lot of sense that there's some people that like they show up to the Chamber of Commerce or those meetings, those community meetings, as in like, I'm trying to let people know I'm here, right? For me, I think I'm like, I don't know if I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if am I sticking around for a while, for a long time. I was like, I don't know. I don't really, I've always felt like that. And maybe the too late thing, it's just like, I've been fine without it thing. But I don't know, we have such this big emphasis on our community and neighbors. I think that's just an obvious thing to show up to, no matter what happens, what comes out of it. But I think just kind of waving and saying that, hey, I'm literally 2 doors down from everybody, what it feels like, I think that'd be a great thing. That'd be a great thing for us.
Sorry, I just came up with another question. Does most of your team live in Opelika?
Brielle and Hannah do not. They live in Auburn. Brielle is moving to downtown in a month. And then Hannah, she lives in Auburn. But, I mean, me, Austin, and Paulina, we live right down the street. So we're about to get Brielle, which will be nice because we have a pretty close-knit community all near downtown. Mm-hmm. Everyone normally will walk to work or bike to work or something like that, which is nice. And then everyone that comes to the shop is normally really, really close, other than all the Auburn people. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of Auburn people.
I would say, what percentage do you feel like is Opelika? What percentage is Auburn?
Auburn being a lot bigger. Like Auburn, when school's in, has like 100,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
Opelika is 30.
Yeah.
But Opelika is geographically huge, but not dense at all. Mm-hmm. At all. I mean, there's no apartments, nothing in Opelika. I mean, it's yards are big, lots are big. We probably get, I would say we're 70 Auburn people. So they drive 20 minutes every day. So it's pretty wild.
But they probably hunker down. You got a lot of people chilling.
I think people stay on average about an hour.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd want to stay there for a while. It's a cool spot. Do you have people sitting in the back these days?
So it's only got 4 seats now. It's kind of in transition from different shows. So it used to be all seating, but it was hard to serve people well back there.
Totally.
So we kind of cut it down to a minimum of these 4 seats, and it's just 4 people that need to be kind of closed off, away from the loud cafe area. But it was, even though it was nice to have so much seating, it didn't fit. We could not. We talked about it. We're like, we can't serve those people well at all, especially when we're doing pretty close table service. Like we almost spend more time outside of the bar than we do behind the bar. It feels like some days. So, yeah.
Totally.
Chamber of Commerce. Let's get after it, boys.
Next up.
Yeah, maybe I will. I'm sure that'd probably be better for the city to have more representation of business owners.
Yeah. And taxation without representation is theft.
Wow. Amen. So wait,
That's a good close.
Amen.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks again, Dave.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Ross.
Yeah. And thank you, Ross. We'll miss you. Dave, we'll see you next week.